I know you left there were enemies. Foot on the gas, this is our legacy. Oh, we'll be running away at the speed of light. It's like a force really taking over me. We're taking over. We're taking over. We're taking Stolen your emerald technology. Razor sharp and luminous. Can't say that I'm not ambitious. And then a surge of adrenaline with another pounding heart. We'll be running through the city to the night.
Welcome to Brawlhalla.
And hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bearded Brawls 2v2. It's the first Australian 2v2s tournament here for the Bearded Brawls. My name is That Jerry Boy, and alongside me, I have the man, the myth, and the legend from Moose Wars, it's AJ. AJ, how you doing, man? It's good to see you, and it's good to cast with you, actually.
I know, man. It's very rare that we get to cast with each other, and I'm having a fantastic time. I got called in to cast the 2v2 event for Bearded Brawls, and I like watching and commentating Australian players and their gameplay and everything, and I cannot wait to see the gameplay from Australia in the very first 2v2 of Bearded Brawls. And with that being said, I mean, we have our first matchup actually already in the room, already choosing their characters on and off. How about you go over that first set with me? Because I remember you were bringing up some very knowledgeable things regarding the first set. Like, for example, Beware Chair primarily playing blasters and Asmodee choosing a lot of bow characters.
Yeah, so we have our first picks coming up, and look at this. It's Asmodee and Chair up against Moxies and Roscoe. Now, this is a matchup where these players are very familiar with how they play. They're very familiar with their teammates. They're familiar with their opponents. Asmodee at the moment seems to be more locked in on the Vector at the moment. Chair's on that Lucian, which, if you are watching the Spring Championship, that is what they had played in when they were 2 down against Hipka and Vey. And they had almost brought it back. They brought it to a game 5. They were so close to the reset. But they just got edged out by Hipka and Vey in the end. But on the other side, the blue team, it is Moxies and Roscoe. Now, Moxies on that Thatch, Roscoe on that Onyx. This is not unusual for these teams to play. Moxies has played a lot of Thatch. Roscoe has also played just a lot of Sidra and a lot of Cannon in general. So I will be expecting to see, especially from Moxies and Roscoe, just a lot of quick fire team combos, you know, hit a blaster Enlight and then immediately the follow up from Roscoe and then just so on and so forth. Asmodee definitely on that bow and on that lance especially will be trying to create just a lot of space, just trying to keep the blue team members apart. And we're going to be seeing how that counteracts each other at the moment. In this setting, I'm not actually sure who I would tip first to take this set. Number one, we are in winners semi-final, and it's if you end up winning from here, you put yourself into the winners final, and that is a guaranteed top 3 as we go into the map bans. Now, AJ, who do you reckon is going to be winning out this set from here in our first set of 2v2s for Bearded Brawls?
I don't know. I mean, we're talking, I know Roscoe and Moxies are kind of changing characters around a little bit. I remember that we were bringing up a little bit earlier that Roscoe will be tending to play a little bit more Sidra. However, they were even bringing up in the Brawlhalla chat that they might be going more for the Cross or the Raza tonight as well. So we'll kind of see what happens. I know that things are kind of shifting a little bit, but this is 2v2s. And I mean, with how notorious Asmodee and Beware Chair are, I mean, it's definitely going to be more so in their favor when it comes down to their experiences as players. But at the same time, though, Roscoe and Moxies have more team experience together when it comes down to 2v2s.
Yeah, Moxies and Roscoe definitely have, especially of recently in the last 6 months, their synergy has been climbing exponentially. As you can see, the team combo already coming out, but Roscoe just missing that neutral air. Chair keeping Moxies up with a blaster recovery of his own. And we're seeing already that damages at the moment still pretty even. Moxies sending Chair up into the sky. Oh, nice save from Moxies again. Roscoe almost getting hit by that Lance combo, and Moxies just helping out his teammate, getting a GC downlight recovery at the end. And now we're getting a bit of a follow-up. The bow recovery not managing to hit. Chair gets sent off to the other side of the stage as Asmodee gets KO'd off of the top. Chair really being careful with that edge guard. He comes back, tries to get that down sig, but Moxie's clean enough to avoid it for now.
Yeah, and one thing I'm kind of enjoying by watching both these teams, it's not like they're being insanely aggressive. They're just going back and forth, right? It's not like an insanely fast matchup. It's more so, okay, let me go ahead and understand what the opposing team is doing. Like, for example, Chair getting knocked out there by the blue team. But overall, though, I mean, just a lot of making sure I have the control before I go into my attacks. And we're seeing the red team do that very, very well and knock out both blue team members' first stocks.
Yeah, something that is also probably a little quick thing to mention is the team combos from blue team definitely have been a lot more efficient comparatively to Asmodee and Cher. You know, Moxie's or Roscoe might just hit one of their opponents and already, you know, the team combo is following up. And even the punishments from when Asmodee and Cher are even doing their team combos, you know, if one of their teammates gets hit, then Roscoe's already in or Moxie's is already in. And at the moment, there's a lot of damage built up onto Asmodee as she gets taken out onto her last stock in game number 1. Cher just trying to hang onto the wall. As a nice read by Cher, tries to go for that side air, just keeping Roscoe off the stage, but not quite working as of right now. As Cher getting hit by that blaster side air. They have Asmodee on the own. Nice follow-up again, just building a lot of damage onto Asmodee. The side sig, not enough to get the KO just yet. Tries to go for the ground pound, but Asmodee interrupts quickly. That's going to end up actually getting the KO, that downlight recovery. And now they have Roscoe on his own, but Cher paying the price for going downstairs. And now Asmodee trying to get the Lance read. Oh my, almost hitting that side air. She loses her weapon as Roscoe gets the recovery. Had nothing and just ends up coming down just eventually, but a lot of damage built up onto Asmodee. She's gonna have to be so careful here to not get KO'd and lead Cher into the 1v2.
Yeah, and I like seeing this matchup where it's like, okay, the blue team try to bait Asmodee by trying to do a team combo on Cher, and as soon as they go into halfway through the team combo, they go ahead and try to bait them into attacks here and there. But overall, though, I mean, blue team's main goal going into this game was knock out Asmodee. Asmodee is the powerhouse of the team. Once you have that option, Moxie and Roscoe's team synergy can come together and really focus on Cher as a 2v1 situation. So very nice job coming at Roscoe and Moxie's as we go into game number 2. Now, if you're going to be Asmodee, you got to be very careful of keeping your stock alive compared to the last game, just because you lost it so early and left Cher in that 2v1 situation. And that's what Moxie's and Roscoe really, really want going into game number 2 as well.
Yeah, Moxie's and Roscoe really capitalizing on just, you know, the team combos and the synergy that they have. You know, they're getting the follow-ups, and not only that, but they're also getting the punishment onto their opponents as well for trying to team combo their teammate, which what drew them over the line in the end. You know, building up that damage on the team combos, stopping the team and stopping the combos again against their opponents. You're seeing that now as like already there is a bit of damage built on to Asmodee, but look at Roscoe. He's already in the red. That's a nice save again by Moxie's. You're seeing just, you know, using the blaster side as pokes and now trying to get the team damage onto Roscoe. The down sig on the bow, hitting both of the opponents. They have the edge guard. And now Roscoe now picking up the cannon. We're trying to see out how this is gonna play out for this blue team. Oh no, Cher does hit a side downlight set. Asmodee getting the KO off the top, and Asmodee trying to get the edge guard confirmed onto Roscoe. He's just gonna bring himself up back again with that cannon, but nice punishment from Cher as that's gonna take out the stock for Roscoe.
Yeah, for sure. And overall, though, I mean, red team has been doing a lot better compared to game number 1. Really focused on separating each of the players in a 1v1 style situation, because that's where Asmodee really shows their full power. And Cher was really able to focus on to Moxie as well a little bit earlier and get that focus. But right now, Asmodee gets knocked out of that first stock, and Cher might be following up with that not too long ago, but Moxie's really trying to get some team combos onto Asmodee while Cher is very, very low. And they're just trying to take advantage of that. The longer that Cher is up on that stock very, very low, it allows the blue team to land these team combos that they really want to try to land. But right now, Cher comes in, knocking out Moxie's, and then Cher gets knocked out there by Roscoe as a rebuttal. And right now, it's still looking very much in favor of the red team.
Yeah, something to point out that Cher's first stock was taken out, you know, not even 10 seconds ago. And look at his health compared to, you know, someone like Moxie's. Already a lot of damage being built up onto Cher's stock as Moxie's is trying to keep himself on the wall. He gets that down air. Cher just saves himself. Asmodee getting taken out by Roscoe. Roscoe trying to go for the team save, but Cher ends up getting that ground pound.
Yeah, and I mean, red team is just really focusing on the blue team at the moment, really prioritizing splitting the blue team at the moment, and it's working out very, very well. And And I think that's where the blue team's like, okay, we need to kind of do team combos. We do very, very well team build-up damage. And right after that, once we can kind of get them low enough, like where Chair's at, they can go in for the knockout options as well. But right now, it's Modi trying to keep the blue team to the ledge, trying to push that overall pressure on the opposing team. But right now, Chair's so low. Blue team's trying to take advantage of that and trying to knock out Asmodi of that final stock to knock out Chair instead. Now they have a 2v1 situation. Can they take advantage of it? And unfortunately, they cannot, as Modi with that lance having the jumps and the movability to really take advantage of. And that allows our Chair to come back. And now both blue team members are low on that final stock. There we go. Modi knocks out Moxie's. And Roscoe is still live at 2v1. But that's going to be a very, very difficult 2v1 at the moment. Sider coming in. A lot of back and forth, back and forth. Oh, we get downlight into a Sider. Oh, it's a weapon throw by Modi. And Roscoe is gonna be knocked out by Chair's blaster ground pound. And Chair, as Modi take game number 2 to her name. It just really came down to separating his blue team members from each other and focusing on them where the red team can really prioritize.
Yeah, you saw blue team really try and drag it back, especially when Chair had just lost his first stock. They try to build up that damage, and they almost evened it back up, but you just saw Asmodi's lance and even like Chair's blasters really just managing to separate the two blue team members. As we're going to go into game number 3. It is all tied up 1-1 here. No changes to their characters, no changes to the map, as it looks like it's really even here coming out for game number 3.
Well, yeah, and I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of character swaps from either team, just because each team has gotten one game over each other. I mean, it's Modi and Chair.
Took game number 2. Oh, I'm trying to go for that side stick. Moxie's just avoids it.
Yeah, Moxie is getting almost knocked out off that ledge. And overall, I mean, we're seeing the red team trying to prioritize off that ledge, trying to change the pace into the game like it was in game number 2. And at the moment, I mean, blue team is rebutted very, very well and has a little bit of a half stock lead at the moment.
No,
Chair unable to touch that ledge, and Chair goes down to that second stock.
Yeah, something that was a little bit unfortunate there. Chair just trying to avoid the pressure that Moxies and Roscoe were pressing onto them, and he just ends up SDing that at the final seconds. But now, Chair with these katars really just building up so much damage on Roscoe, and that's going to get the stock. Moxies is trying to keep himself in this, trying to survive. He gets around the edge guard, but now Moxie's really just trying to hold that center stage, making sure that he can hopefully try and get that KO onto Asmodi, as Modi tries to get that jump read, but both blue team members, they don't fall for it. As now, Roscoe now trying to build up that damage onto Chair. Something to note here, the damage deficit between these two red team members, as Chair is almost taken onto his final stock, as Modi finally getting KO'd by that GC downlight recovery by the Moxie's sword. Chair finally getting that KO onto Moxie's, and now we have a bit of a team combo. Nice follow-ups in the end by Chair. Possibly could have gone for the recovery, but maybe decided against it. Now look at the damage deficit between, you know, Moxie's and Roscoe, and then Asmodi and Chair. If either team members can try and focus, especially if blue team can actually focus on Chair, try and get his stock taken out as early as possible, then, you know, that will lead into a quicker 1v2 situation. What a blast of sidelight, actually, by Moxie's, as Chair's gonna finally go. Moxie's and Asmodi's still left on the stage as Roscoe comes back, gets a weapon, as well as Chair. As now they're trying to battle each other out. Moxie's is being edge guarded right now. He makes his way back though. Now it's a matter of trying to get that stock off of Moxie's as quickly as possible for this red team.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of funny because I'm looking at Chair's guitar gameplay, and he's kind of being like, okay, I'm going to distract one of the blue team members. I'm going to keep you over here while Modi goes crazy in this 1v1 situation. And then once that's kind of happening, they're able to punish, but blue team coming in with the knockout on Modi. Chair barely alive on that final stock here, and blue team did a very nice job of changing that back into their favor and to try to win game number 3.
Yeah, as Moxie's and Roscoe, they are so close to getting this KO onto Chair, as that nice follow-up by Asmodi is going to get the stock onto Moxie's, and now they have the chance to try and apply the pressure onto Roscoe. He's keeping himself alive for now, as Roscoe trying to get some more damage onto Asmodi, but it's just going really back and forth right now. Look at the damage on Roscoe. Look at the damage on Chair. Look at the damage actually on Asmodi as well, and Moxie's. Look at all of them. It's getting so close. Anyone could be leading into the 1v2 as the downlight Nair drops on the cannon. Surely that might have put the KO onto Chair. And now the gauntlet side air. Asmodi's really trying to create the space. Chair does make his way back though. Look at the— oh no, that's gonna KO Roscoe! Asmodi does make a way back eventually, and now it's a 1v2. Moxie's trying to just buy himself some time, buy himself some space for the weapon spawn, but Asmodi's gonna take handle of it. Chair really trying to get this KO quickly onto Moxie's. Tries to get the endlight, downlight, recovery, no dodge on Moxie's, and Asmodi and Chair, they're gonna put themselves 2-1 up here in this set.
Yeah, and you would think based off of how Moxie's and Roscoe really went towards the end of that game where they were doing this team combo on both red team members. We saw Asmodi losing that second stock, right? You would think if they were able to keep that consistent that the red team would be knocked out surely, especially with the momentum that they had. But overall, though, Asmodi Chair really rebounded there, said, you know what, you go out and then you go out too. Got that dub in their name. And we're going into game number 4. And if you're Roscoe and Moxie's, you got to figure out, it's like, okay, what map are we going to go to? Are we going to try platforms? Are we going to try a very high ceiling? They're knocking out Western Air Temple. I don't blame them one bit. And they knocked out Demon Island. So it looks like we will be going to a platform map, which is going to be Apocalypse. And we're going into game number 4. Same characters. So you know both of these teams realize it's not the character choices. It comes down to the mental going into the game.
Alright, as we're gonna go here into game number 4. No changes at all still, surprisingly, as now they're trying to build up this, it's just, you know, the first couple seconds as the team combo is coming out. For this blue team,
wow.
Huge damage already. Asmodi is in the red, Chair's in the orange, as Moxie's trying to get the early KO onto Asmodi. The side sig on the sword, that's gonna get the KO. Really, really early, nice team damage. That's what we saw, and Chair's actually gonna fall as well.
Indeed.
Huge for this blue team.
Indeed, and it came down to the team synergy that the blue team has always had with them and really trying to step it forward in the beginning of the first 30 seconds, and they did that. Both red team members are down to those second stocks of their second lives, so to speak, and right now they're just trying to take advantage of it. They're realizing that Asmodi and Cher are trying to separate the blue team. Blue team realizes that it's trying to stick together no matter what they're doing, even if they're getting team comboed by the red team.
It's really starting to work out at the moment for this blue team, as already Chair almost sent out onto his last stock. The damage deficit is so huge as Asmodi is already on their last stock as Roscoe finally falls. This has really been a dominant game by the blue team, and we're seeing it so efficiently. Asmodi getting that downlight recovery. Moxie's does make his way back though. And now, just a little bit of a slap in the face with that bow side air. Moxie's, trying to go for that early KO with that blaster's recovery, but it doesn't hit. Moxie's really going into that barbecue sauce. Chair finally getting the KO, but probably too little too late. Look at the damage. Look at the stocks on Asmodi and Chair. It's a huge deficit. A 1v2 is surely inevitable from this position.
Absolutely, it just came down to how they control the beginning of this game. And right now you can see Chair trying to change that with guitars. Moxie's able to go ahead and knock out Chair at that second stock, which allows for the blue team to focus on Asmodi. Asmodi is unable to come back to that ledge, and it makes Chair go into that 1v2 situation that you said was inevitable, which they definitely came to light. So right now, Chair trying to find some type of method to this 2v2 team madness here, trying to separate them so they don't have to do these team combos, but we're seeing them. Look at the steps that they're doing. They're going right for them with blasters, with a sword, or with whatever. And Chair has an opportunity to knock out Roscoe. Nice down signature coming in, downlight coming in as well. And Chair, I mean, this is where he needs to go and get this knockout if he can to make things a little bit more in their favor. Sider coming in, and we might have a knockout option in 3, 2, 1. Oh! It looks like Moxie is able to come back. And blue team has a team combo
now
ready to
we're
go. Look
seeing
at
the
this
team
going.
combo. Oh,
they
Moxie's
dropped
just
it.
missing that downlight. Yeah, but now downlight. Ah! What's going on here? Moxies, you don't drop those. Finally gets the KO, and we're gonna go to game number 5.
Hey, this is a winner semifinals matchup. You want these matches to go into game number 5, and we're seeing it right here. Now, okay, they're knocking out Demon Island again, so I'm assuming Apocalypse or Small Fortress Alliance here. Apocalypse, they like that map. And with that being said, it's all seen Legends once again. And the main thing is Modi and Cheer really have to consider going into game number 5 is to not get team comboed by Moxies and Roscoe again. So we're going into this game. Let's see how it goes. Game number 5 of the winter semifinals of Bearded Brawl 2v2s.
Yeah, it can really be that first couple seconds that matter as Roscoe actually ends up DIing in on that team combo. As you know, Chair and Asmodi, you saw them getting team comboed heavily by the blue team within those first couple 15 seconds or so. And it's really just a matter of just making sure that you don't get caught. Try and stick to your game plan. Just try and split Roscoe and Moxie's apart. As that Downsig ends up connecting, Moxie's in a bit of trouble, but he does avoid that side air, which would have surely gotten the KO. And now he puts Chair in a bit of strife. He does make his way back though, Chair trying to get that follow-up, but just a little bit too late, as Asmodi gets the stock off of Moxie's. Asmodi losing the weapon from the side stick of Roscoe. And now it's, at the moment, Chair getting another down sig on those Katars. He's really using them to full effect here in game number 5. Chair with another KO, that barely KOs, but it does do the job as this red team is now in the lead.
Yeah, for sure. And red team they're in the lead, but blue team's like, you know what? We're gonna try to make things even, and they do. Is 2 stocks all blue team with weapons, trying to get team combos here on the red team. But I mean, overall though, it's funny to me how each player is running into each character signatures. I mean, we're having Lucian's downsig be a problem. We're seeing Onyx's cannon signatures being a problem for the red team. So it's a lot of back and forth, but right now though, we're a minute 40 in, and red team's starting to get a little bit of a lead, and they're really focusing on Moxies right now, trying to knock them out. As we're seeing it, we're seeing Asmodi trying to go for that vector bow down signature for knockout options.
Yeah, we're seeing Moxies and Roscoe. There's a lot of damage built onto them. Finally, this red team is able to get the lead as Chair gets that down sig again. It's just so effective on Lucian. It's so effective. And the Vector and Sig on the Lance to boots from Asmodi, as Moxies and Roscoe have been put on their final pair of stocks in this set.
Yeah, and I mean, going into this game too, I kind of thought that Asmodi was going to be carrying the red team, so to speak. But Cher is just following up so well, and they're keeping so even on those second stocks as well. I mean, look, blue team just having a difficult time even knocking those stocks out because of how close they are. There we go. We have the blue team finally knocking out Modi's second stock and then knocking out Chairs. It's 1 stock all. We saw this in the middle of this game with 2 stocks even. They made themselves even, and they're down to those final stocks. Who's going to be really able to get team combos and be able to follow up and win this game?
Yeah, when blue team got those final stocks to get on Asmodi and Cher and put them on their last stock, there wasn't that much of a damage deficit between them. There is actually a lot of damage being built up onto Asmodi right now. She's being put into that burnt orange sort of color. But look at Roscoe as well. He's starting to get into the red. Cher trying to get these Qatar reads, just trying to split this blue team apart. As now, yeah, does get a bit of a follow-up Asmodi on that bow and light. Roscoe avoiding that downsig nicely. Now they're just trying to buy each other some time, buy each other some space. As Roscoe putting Chair off stage. Alright, and now that's a downsig.
But yeah, I mean, right now we're going right into it. It's down to the final stock spread for both of these teams right now. There we go. Moxie's knocking out Cher as Modi now having to deal with a 2v1 from one of the best 2v2 teams in this event. Can they do it right now? comes down to blue team really showing that pressure on Asmodi, really trying to get these knockout options. Roscoe's going for the same thing as Asmodi.
Wait, Asmodi gets the stock. She has the chance. She has a chance to get the 1v2. Moxie's pushes her out to the side, tries to get that sword recovery. Asmodi, probably the best 1v1 player, and she gets the 1v2 and puts Asmodi and Chair into the winner's final. Insane. Insane 1v2.
Yeah,
how?
Very nice job coming.
How? Actually, how? Explain to me, please.
Asmodi, I can explain how, because Asmodi has been a powerhouse in the 1v1 and in the 2v2 scene in Brawlhalla, in Australian Brawlhalla for a while. So props to Asmodi dealing with that 2v1 situation, realizing what Roscoe was really kind of aiming for with that cannon, and he kept on landing it a lot to the point where I think realistically, Asmodi is like, okay, bow, neutral air, bye-bye, see you later, and then got that 1v1 situation, which they're very good at and really maximized on it. So very nice job coming out of Asmodi and Beware Chair. They're going into the winners finals, but that was extremely close compared to I think a lot of people would have expected. So with that being said, man, I mean, I think we have possibly our next matchup slowly getting together here, but I believe our next matchup there, my good caster friend there, Jerry Boy, Doggo and Vey versus Rangundes and Hipka. You know a lot more about these players than I do. You're the Australian. I'm just here. Let me know how you feel about this going into this next matchup here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This set is going to confuse. It's confusing me even. Usually, what we're used to seeing is we're used to seeing Hipka and Vey teaming, and then Doggo and Rangundes teaming. And that's what it was. That's what the case was. But now it's been swapped. It's Hipka teaming with Rangundes, Doggo teaming with Vey. At the moment, most people have their Legends selections. Hipka is on that Orion. Rangundes is on that Hattori, and Doggo is on that Sidra. So we are used to this. Vey has gone onto the Kaya. But at the moment, it's gonna be really interesting. You know, Vey and Hipka, usually there's a double spear from them, but these guys they're not teaming in this tournament. So I'll be interested what will interest me the most is the synergy, you know, because they're used to different players, you know, they're used to a different sort of play style. They're used to a different form of synergy. So, you know, they've just swapped teams which was honestly probably a last minute swap for this tournament. So how they play it out from here will be interesting for me to see. We're already seeing like 3 spears, you know, 2 sets of swords. So we're going to be going on ahead. And looks like the players are ready as we're going to get into this first set here in game number 1. As the map bans are coming out. And I'll be interested to especially see, you know, how the synergy plays out. They're used to different teammates. They're not used to who they have currently. And it's teammate against teammate in like 4 different dimensions. So if it doesn't confuse them, it'll definitely be confusing me.
Well, and it comes down to this is a team switch up. It is. You can't expect, like, no matter what you're shown on any statistic leaderboard, it comes down, and you brought that up, where it comes down to that synergy of both these teams. Doesn't matter what player's up here. If the team has such good synergy together and they're able to follow up, they're able to land their team combos and be efficient, they can win the entire event. It doesn't matter who is in grands, winners, wherever. So with this being a new team, both of these teams being fairly new, we don't know what to expect going into this. So it's gonna be very interesting here as we go into game number 1 between Vey, Doggo, and Hipka and Rangundes.
Yeah, so we're already seeing, you know, just within those first couple 10 seconds, there is a little bit of damage built up. Hipka, you know, barely being touched at the moment. This red team, they do have the space awareness. There's just a bunch of teammates getting hit left, right, and center at the moment. The one thing that I probably was expecting that is happening at the moment within the first, you know, 20, 30 seconds or so is they are actually, and the damage is relatively even. Probably the only thing that I was actually expecting from this set so far in game number 1, but it's really just a matter of if you know, they can try and get their stocks as quickly as possible, try and get those follow-ups as they is sending Hipka up, but oh, nice down sync there by Hipka, not enough to actually get the KO. Oh, the team combos, whoa, what is going on here? Raikkonen is getting hit with a Vey Haymaker, and now they are trying to push themselves through. There is, at the moment, oh, look at everybody. Everyone's in the barbecues now. Raikkonen gets hit and KO to the top, as so does Hipka. And, well, both red team members. And now, but this blue team, there is a lot of damage put onto them, as an unarmed side air is actually going to get the KO. And Doggo ends up getting KO down there at the bottom. It's even Stevens here.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And when it comes down to the beginning stocks, like you said, it always tends to be even no matter what team's up here. It comes down to how long each team can be consistent with their gameplay. It just comes down to, okay, and the red team as well, the main reason why they were at a deficit was because they were unable to follow up with team combos. And blue team, both those players are fantastic at adapting against that and were able to get the lead. But then as soon as as soon as we're bringing it up too, I mean, blue team got kind of reversed by the red team. I think the red team feels the pressure, and they're very, very good under pressure together. So we'll kind of have to see what happens with Hipka losing that second stock. Raikkonen is now having to deal with a small 2v1 until Hipka comes back. There we go. Nice sword recovery coming in, but it's not knockout. It is going to be very interesting to kind of see, but I definitely think blue team will have the upper advantage. It comes down to how well the red team perform under pressure going into the final part of this round.
Yeah, now there's a lot. Now it's looks like Raikkonen and Hipka, they are on their last stocks. They and Doggo, they are managing to just push this lead. Hipka actually hitting all three members of even the blue team members and Raikkonen. He hits him with the downlight set. It's gonna get Doggo it's gonna get the KO onto Doggo, and now he doesn't actually manage to get the wall touch. Hipka just sorting him out with that spear down air from earlier, and now it's the stocks are even. Maybe not so much the damage, and this blue team could really get a 1v2 sorted out for them soon, but not if Hipka has anything to say about it! Gets a double down, double neutral signature as Doggo tries to make his way back. He doesn't get the wall touch, and now this red team, they have all of a sudden a 1v2 opportunity.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. The blue team was able to have a very, very good lead, and then the red team felt the pressure, and they knocked out Doggo very, very well. And then they land this phenomenal team combo onto Vey. Vey barely alive. I see a spear down there, or spear down late sider coming in. There we go. Vey getting knocked out. And that is the power of how the red team play, and they just really maximize on Doggo that game. I mean, it was down to his final stocks. Vey and Doggo had the lead, but then Doggo gave the opportunity for the red team while they were under pressure, where they're the best under, and really focus on Doggo. That's what gave that red team the first point of this set, and props to them. And now if you're the blue team, Jerry boy, you gotta be imagining we cannot give up the lead that we have towards the end of that stock. So they had to be careful. But they're choosing maps, and looks like we have a platform map. It's gonna be Apocalypse. A lot of people have been loving Apocalypse recently.
Yeah, especially in the 2v2s, because there is a lot more space for, especially off stage, with the kill floors, the kill ceilings, and the kill walls. You know, you'll be able to survive a lot longer comparatively to the other maps for something like, say, Miami Dome or Demon Island, or even Fabled City, which you don't really see a lot of here in the 2v2 scene. You definitely do see a lot of that Apocalypse, which does work out. Now, this blue team, They really have to. They were really holding onto that lead in game number 1, but they just ended up losing it probably a little bit too quickly as Vey is trying to get this KO onto Raigundas. He is going to make his way back, but more pressure is being applied onto Raigundas. He doesn't have enough to make it back, and that's first stock counts to that blue team, but Hipka is looking really healthy. He's barely in the yellow as now both members have been split apart. Hipka trying to make his way back as Vey gets hit with a ground pound of Raigundas, and Doggo follows suit, getting Hipka. And now, Doggo is the only one still left on his first stock here in game number 2.
Yeah, and I mean, originally we saw the red team get some team combos in, but then now we're seeing the blue team in the beginning of this game going in like, okay, let's go for team combos. Let's kind of launch each red team member to the side and then focus them on a 1v1. That's why both red team members are on their second stocks. And as the blue team comes together as a team, they're very, very good at getting this damage build up, and then they'll separate them again and get some knockout options. So Hipka saying, you know what, we knock out Doggo first. Ragundez losing that second stock, and I have a feeling we might see they go ahead and knock out Hipka there, depending on what Doggo has to say about that as well. But I mean, right now, blue team having almost an entire stock lead over the red team. This comes down to how they and Doggo are really adapting to playstyles of the red team. Hipka's already gone at that second stock now as we get to the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, both Hipka and Raigundas being on their last stocks, which they managed to end up clutching it out from here in game number 1, but Vey and Doggo, they are very powerful adapters in this game. They can just shift their way through. However, they see as Vey being put into that barbecue sauce as there's a team combo coming out.
Wow.
Doggo, a lot of damage being put onto him. Vey ends up getting hit by that side stick. Doggo trying to get this Hipka stock, but the spear recovery is just a bit too much as finally Raigundas gets a nice punish onto Doggo, and he's going to get the KOs. Stocks are even, but damage is not so much. But this was the exact same situation we saw in game number 1, and it could happen again here in game number 2. They just have to be a lot more careful, this blue team. As Vey gets the KO onto Hipka, and now they have the 1v2 against Raigundas. Doggo just keeping the weapons away from Raigundas. He's trying to use the platform and the wall to try and keep himself alive here. Nice follow-up by Doggo as Raigundas is going to get sent out to the side. The breakdance actually not hitting. That glance side air does, and we have ourselves a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, 1-1.
Indeed, and I gotta bring this up too, and I said it's the first game. I almost imagine Raigundas and Hipka as a pressure mine that it can explode at any moment depending on how much pressure is laid onto them, right? I mean, with Doggo and Vey, they were putting this pressure onto the red team, but the red team kind of wasn't able to punish on a whole lot. Because they just didn't feel the pressure fully onto them. And as soon as one of them got knocked out, you could see the opposing red team member kind of sit there and try their best. But I mean, another thing as well is, I mean, Vey and Doggo realized what happened that first game. They realized what Doggo did, and they adapted very well. Doggo kept consistent with his gameplay, and they won that game. That's what I can explain for that last round. But we're going into game number 3. Raigundas and Hipka with the double Hattori against Vey with the Ryan and Doggo with that Sidra. And I don't know, we have double sword and double spear coming out of the red team. I want to see what team combos come out of them.
Yeah, it's really interesting to actually see Hipka swap off the Orion and, you know, match Raigundas on that Hattori, because I thought that Lance was working out a lot for Hipka, but he did use a lot of that spear, and even then, a lot of the Orion signatures that Hipka was using ended up working as almost, Vey almost gets that KO onto Hipka. Doggo trying to keep himself alive here, as there's a lot of damage being put onto this red team at the moment. Vey and Doggo hoping to try and get the KO soon, but Raigundas being starved of a weapon right now. Vey gets the punish, but not the KO from it. And now they're trying to push themselves away. Hipka maybe with a bad recovery as Doggo gets the KO. onto Raigundis, and now they have a chance against Hipka, and they do get it, that cannon recovery, and now we've got a team combo happening. Doggo getting the follow-up, and another net comes out from Vey. There's a lot of damage being put onto Raigundis right now from that team combo. And now they're trying to sort themselves out. They have to try and retrace their steps and try and, you know, put themselves back from here.
Yeah, and oh no, Vey is gone. Raigundis with a grounded cancel neutralite. Both blue team members lose those first stocks, but I mean, the blue team was able to land this phenomenal team combo on Raigundis and get the blue team a bigger advantage than they would probably expected from that team combo, right? I mean, Raigundis is now in the red. They can go for a knockout option. You see Vey trying to go for it with a neutral signature here and there. And that will allow for knockout option also on Hipka. So there we go, team combo coming out of the blue team onto Hipka. And then looks like we have Raigundis trying to come back and forth, man. But I mean, blue team definitely staying consistent, staying together, making sure they don't get separated by the red team because they know how that kind of goes out in the previous rounds. Vey coming in with that lovely Orion side signature, knocking out both red team members of that second stock, and blue team having a fantastic lead right now.
Yeah, it was just a massive sweep. That side signature, it collected both of the members, and now red team, this back foot is starting to turn into a second back foot. They're just going backwards and backwards. They need to try and get these KOs onto these blue team members as quickly as possible. Hipka getting a side sig, and now they have a chance against Doggo, who's trying to get these cannon reads. He ends up putting himself onto the wall, but that's be a ground pound. Not enough to get the KO just yet. Vey comes in to help as that side hit doesn't complete the full animation, so didn't really send Hipka all the way out, and now Doggo is going to finally fall. Vey actually makes it back. Not just yet. Wait, Vey has a dodge. Oh no, Vey! He gets saved! Vey gets saved by Doggo. Huge play. And now they get the stock onto Hipka. This is a huge play from Doggo to save his teammate in the end. And they have a chance to put themselves 2-1 up here in the winner's semi-final, and they get it.
Blue team win.
Yeah, Doggo and Vey going fantastic and really showing that pressure onto Raigundis and to Hipka. I mean, Raigundis and Hipka did very, very well with trying to come back towards the end, but blue team just had the bullet coming right back at them. And even if we go on to some of these replays here too, I mean, overall, you're going to see blue team really have a good lead, and then you see red team kind of make things even here and there. And then overall, though, it just came down to the blue team reading that final knockout option by the red team, getting a double stock knockout here and there. And then it came down to that. So very nice job coming out of those teams there. And it looks like Vey and Doggo are same characters. Hipka actually swaps from Hattori to Orion as we go into game number 4.
Yeah, Hipka going back to that Orion that he was using earlier. And this is the first time that I'm pretty sure this is the first time that we're seeing a different map other than Apocalypse. And it's Western Air Temple, which is a little bit of an interesting swap up. You know, the ceiling is probably maybe a little bit higher, if not the same. But there's 2 moving platforms that go vertically up and down, which makes it really, really interesting. Especially, you know, if you can manage to get a lot of platform cancels on that spear. But it might get in the way of the lance, especially if you're trying to approach with a lot of those side airs and down airs. Those platforms might actually end up getting in the way. So considering that there's 2 lances on the screen right now, it could be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And we say this every game. It's going to be relatively even in the beginning unless we see blue team pop off onto Hipka here, right? I mean, and here's the thing. If one team can have the lead in the bare beginning of a round, that's huge. Doggo coming in with that cannon 2-piece. You're trying to knock out Raigundis. A lot of back and forth. Hipka is actually able to go and start things off by knocking out Vey of that first stock. Doggo's off that ledge. And Doggo with the counter, but we got a lot of back and forth. Nice team combo by the blue team on the Raigundis, but Raigundis is still alive and punishes Doggo either way. So right now, if you're the red team, you're like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit comfortable here. They have the momentum to their name. Vey getting knocked out there by a Raigundis, but there might be a trade there by Doggo, and there was. And Doggo just saved their teammate from getting early knocked out there by the red team.
Yeah, that was actually a really surprising save again by Doggo, which he saved Vey again and again. And he's done it again. Oh no, that down sig, not enough to actually get the KO just yet. Vey makes his way back up onto the stage, and now he comes down and helps Doggo. And now it's Ragundas being the one that gets edge guarded. He does put himself back up though, which we're seeing just these edge guards and these team combos coming out as Vey trying to. It looks a little bit more even now than what it did maybe 30 seconds ago. Ragundas getting that KO onto Vey. Doggo is left all alone here. Team combo might come out, but no, Vey does come back. So he's ready. He's ready at the hand, and he's ready to help out Doggo. As that recovery, not actually enough to get the KO. Doggo trying to make his way safely back. Ragunda's actually in a little bit of trouble, but he does make his way back, losing the sword in the process, though. Everyone's just getting onto this burgundy and barbecue sauce, and the KOs aren't coming here. Finally, they get that KO onto Ragundas, and Hipka trying to make his way back around. There's still no KOs coming out. Finally, again, gets that side air, but it's all even Stevens here. Vey has to be careful here, try not to get team comboed, because there is a bit of damage as he's going to be put into that orange here in game number 4.
Yeah, and I think they kind of had an opportunity of knocking out, well, I think it was Hipka's second stock there not too long ago, which he kind of spaced himself away from. And that allowed for the red team to kind of make things a lot more even compared to where it was, and realistically give them more of an advantage there. But as we're going into this here, I mean, blue team kind of keeping things even. Same thing with the red team. Blue team now having a humongous lead over the red team, and you're seeing the blue team now really going to be aiming for these knockout options on the red team. And oh, we're seeing an opportunity from they, but red team they're doing a lot better under the pressure. But blue team, oh, we're seeing a lot of back and forth. There we go. Doggo knocking out Ragundas. Hipka now having to deal with a 2v1 and getting knocked out there by Doggo. And Doggo and they take that game to their name, man. It just came down to that team synergy that they had overall. Very nice job coming out of that team there and just showing what they're made of. And it just came down to Hipka and Ragundas. They had the 1v1 strategy, but they did not have the 2v2 like synergy all figured out fully yet to go into that matchup against Doggo and they. How do you feel about that matchup there, Jerry?
Yeah, it just came out to Doggo and Vey in the end. And it just, came down to those final just little split second decisions. There was, a chance for, especially in that last game in game 4, for Hipka and Ragundas to try and get that KO onto Vey, where when Doggo was still, relatively healthy, it could have gotten them into that 1v2, but they couldn't get that KO, and then, Doggo and Vey, they just ended up cleaning up in the end. But it was a good match overall. But for now, I believe we are going to go to a short ad break before we end up putting ourselves into the loser side of the bracket. So don't go anywhere, and we will be seeing you guys very soon.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Bearded Brawl 2v2s for Australia. I'm AJ Moore 2000. I am casting with Jerry Boy, and we've casted 2 fantastic matches on stream so far. Beware Terrence Modi versus Roscoe and Moxies, and Doggo and They versus Rangundas and Hipka. And they have been extremely close matches. And how have you felt so far about this event so far there, Jerry Boy?
Yeah, obviously the matches, they've been very, very good so far. They've been very tough to call, but we are going to now go into the losers side of the bracket now, and we have Hipka and Ragundas against Dexity and Zach the Boss. Which Dexity and Zach the Boss, this used to be a team last year. They got, I think, 4th in Autumns last year as well as a team. But, you know, they've since then they've parted ways. They've played with other teammates. But for this tournament, it looks like they're playing with each other now. But they're going up against 2 very, very good players who have definitely knocked them out of tournaments before. You know, obviously it's a little bit of a newer team with this Hipka and Ragundas, but we saw it in we saw it in the previous set. They have the synergy, and there's no reason why they won't be able to pull this off from here. But as we're going to go into game number 1 here on Apocalypse, we're seeing, you know, just to start with, just players trying to build up the damage, try and, you know, sort each other out, try and get a feel for how it's going to go. As Hipka trying to go for a second ground pound, the boss makes, you know, makes his way back, but look at the damage on Dexity as, you know, he's running back, tries to get the gauntlets, but it's not looking too great at the moment here. It's really just even Stevens at the moment. It's gonna be a matter of who can try and get those stocks first. That's really what it's gonna be a matter of. And in fact, Ragundas' stock is gonna be the first to go. Maybe a little bit of a misinput there from Dexity, possibly try to go for a down air, but it didn't end up working. Here, as we go here into, you know, Ragundas, his stock is the first to go, as everyone's really trying to avoid getting KO'd here, but it's a matter of time, isn't it, as the boss finally flies.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, realistically though, blue team is really showing their team synergy here, and this is a fairly new team as well, if I recall too. So for Hipka and Rangundas to be doing what they're doing is fantastic. I mean, they're going into opportunities for team combos, a lot of back and forth. But also, we gotta bring up Dexity and Zach the Boss have synergy in the past, and they're kind of like floating around what Ragundas and Hipka are kind of throwing at them and keeping things even.
Yeah, they're managing to do it really well, as they're bringing a lot of damage onto Ragundas right now, as he just barely goes into the red. As here's a team combo coming out. Dexity gets the spear recovery onto both of them. A lot of damage being put onto Hipka and Ragundas as they send each other flying, and it's just a matter of getting that stock as quickly as possible, especially onto Ragundas. He's starting to bleed into that burgundy. If they can get it soon, then they'll definitely be in a winning position.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is even, man. This is very, very even between both of these teams. And oh, we're seeing Hipka's spear come out. We might see Ragundas get knocked out there by the red team, and they do. Ragundas is now down to that final stock, but this is extremely, extremely close. Like unbearably close between both these teams. Hipka and Ragundas knocking up both red team members' second stocks. And Hipka's still a little bit lit. I mean, they're still in their second stock, but we do see Zach the Boss go and knock things out and make things even. But now the red team is building up some damage against Ragundas right now there, Jerry Boy.
Yeah, which they're doing surprisingly really well, considering that, you know, Dexity isn't particularly one to actually play Chun-Li, as Ragundas is actually going to be knocked out by the boss. That was a brilliant edge guard from DeBoss, and now they have the 1v2 against Ragundas and Hipka. Hipka trying to get the KO with that land side air, but DeBoss is going to save his teammate. Just narrowly avoids that end-sig. And now it's just a matter of time trying to get this 1v2 sorted out. it looks like Dexity is gonna have to try and avoid a lot of like these lance side airs that Hiccup might throw out, and especially these Orion signatures. Dexity, he really should be only trying to get the punish, but he's gonna get punished himself, and now the boss and Hipka, it's a 1v1.
Yeah, and I believe when it comes down to a 1v1 situation, Hipka definitely has a lot more of the advantage here, and we'll have to see. I mean, Zach the Boss trying to go in with that sword against Hipka's spear. That recover just did not have any force with it, and things are really, really even. Hipka taking advantage of that spear recovery. You're going to see it probably again here in about 30 seconds. Actually, yeah, they're trying to throw it out a lot just because it knocks out so well off the ceiling of Apocalypse. And we're seeing Zach the Boss trying to take advantage of platform control with that bow. A lot of back and forth, but this is very, very close so far there, Jerry Boy.
Yeah, Hipka is going to actually get the KO with that downsing on the lance. You know, it just came out just in the end. Dexity just ended up getting punished for trying to, hit Hipka. And it eventually led into the 1v1 for Hipka, and Hipka being probably the stronger ones player between the two of them, managed to get that KO. Something that I kind of want to note here a little bit is this isn't usually like the team composition from Dexity and the Boss that I've seen from them in the past. It is something that they have used before, and that's without a doubt. But usually when they last played with each other in a major tournament, when they got that 4th place, it was Dexity on the Orion, and I believe it was Zach the Boss on the Cross. So it's really interesting to see, them playing almost completely different characters. The Boss, I've definitely seen a lot of Koji from, in the past couple weeks, maybe a month or so. But Dexity on this Wushang, it is a little bit different comparatively. As now we're getting into this game number 2, as they're just trying to build up the damage. The Boss has already been put onto the red, as that downsing is going to connect, but it's not going to get the stock. What a save, actually! That side sig almost hit, but the Boss managed to come in, but finally they get that stock onto Dexity. And the Boss as well.
Yeah, Hipka and Raigundes have been doing very, very well so far as we're getting into a minute in. And I think if you're Dexy and Zach the Boss, man, I mean, you have to really be like, okay, well, what are the flaws going into this matchup? For example, I would assume Red Team would know Orion more than some of the other teams because one of the players has mained it. Right, and then look at the team combo knockout coming out of the Red Team, knocking out Raigundes. And both blue team members are down to their second stocks, but look at the stock color of the red team, and we're seeing that right now. We're seeing Zach the Boss getting knocked out, and we're probably gonna see Dexter get knocked out here by Atlantean in a little bit. It's gonna be close. It's actually gonna be Spear Helicopter ground pound, and right now blue team is up 2 stocks over Zach the Boss and Dexy. Grand Cancel neutral signature coming in, and Zach the Boss is gone. Oh no, what is going on?
Dexy actually gets the save. He's trying to get these ground pounds. What a couple 30 seconds, and that's gonna be the game. For a game, the last game went over 4 minutes. This game number 2 was under 2 minutes, and now it's 2-0 for Raigundes and Hipka.
Hipka just carried the out of Raigundes, man. I mean, 695 damage was done by Hipka. It came down to the off-edge gameplay, man. I mean, the Gravity Cancel neutral signature. Then you had Raigundes come in and try to do a spear dare or whatever the weapon they had and try to do some sort of dare and knock out Dexity out of the combo. And then you see Hipka be like, okay, let me finish it out again. That was just an insane exchange to have off that ledge and lead to that much stock loss for the red team. So red team has to be going in here And what you brought up as well, and I'm going to bring it up here, is we're used to seeing the red team on a different layout compared to what they were doing in game 1 and game 2. Well, it looks like they brought it back for game 3. So maybe they were just doing a trial and error thing. Maybe they're just trying that new layout to see if it would do good for majors. Because this is a community event. A lot of teams tend to practice a lot of their new strategies in community events, which is why there are so many upsets. Just like we might have an upset there by Hipka, almost knocking out Dexity, but Dexity is still able to stay alive, and things are still even as we get to the 30-second mark.
Yeah, it was, you know, really. Oh, what? Oh. What was that dancing? Okay. Hello, did anybody see Dexity hit that dancing? It sent Raigundas straight down. What was that? Clip that and ship that. BMG, please, what happened as Hipka gets the stock onto Dexity? But yeah, this is definitely probably something a little bit more similar of the team composition that we are probably used to seeing from this red team. You know, Dexity is on that Orion, which he's played a lot of. But at the moment, it's Hipka trying to get this stock, and he is actually gonna get it on Dexity, and he's on his last stock. Ends up SDing as well. Raigundas ends up falling as well. Stock count is even, but probably not the way that you would expect.
Well, it definitely isn't even for the red team as well. With Dexy going down to that final stock, this is critical for Zach to really make sure that Dexy doesn't get knocked out. But I mean, look at the blue team just focus on them with like a razor's edge. I mean, we already have Dexy in the orange of that final stock. Zach the Boss about to get knocked out. It saves themselves with that gauntlet recovery. But Hipka's just toying with Zach the Boss right now.
Yeah, that's not even barbecue sauce. It's finally gonna be the KO, as that was just way too much sauce. And now Dexity really just trying to keep himself alive here. He's just avoiding everything, keeping himself up into the skies, and that's all you can really do when you're on your last stock in the and potentially the tournament. You've really got to try and keep yourself alive. But you know, the stocks really aren't coming at the moment for this red team. They have to try and get them as quickly as possible. Raigundas has the edge guard onto the boss. He is gonna make it back with that down air, giving him the chase dodge. But now they're really trying to get this stock as quickly as possible. Finally, they get the stock, and the second one flies. They have a chance, albeit slim, but a chance nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I mean, it just comes down to Dexy keeping that stock, man. It's going to be extremely hard, especially against a team like Raigundas and Hipka here. So we'll see what happens. You can look at the movement that Dexy is doing to really dodge from getting hit. And we're seeing Zach the Boss really being like, hey, I'm stepping in to make sure you don't get hit. Make sure you don't get hit. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, you're seeing really Dexity really actually trying to avoid like a lot of the ground, making sure that he doesn't get into the range of anyone's hitboxes, because, you know, at the moment, if you sneeze on Dexity, there's the sneeze. It's a spear ground pound on stage, and it's gonna get the stock. A big team damage there onto the boss, and now it's looking so close. This is not gonna be it. It is gonna be it for this blue team, as now Raigundas and Hipka 3-0 their way into losers semi-final and knocking out Dexity and Zach the Boss in the process.
Dude, I have to bring this up. Hipka has had 670 something damage on average going between those 3 games against Zach the Boss and Dexity. I mean, he was just really showing that Orion's gameplay. He was able to deal with these 2v1 situations from the red team. But I mean, he was the one that was getting those knockouts, and Raigundas was kind of stepping in, being a support in this current set and showing what the blue team is made of. And their synergy is pretty awesome to see from a fairly new team. So with that being said, I mean, props to them. Dexy and Zach the Boss did fantastic in this event, no matter what. Don't let yourselves down there in that regard. You guys did get top 6 in this event. You got 5th place, so props to you. But our next matchup, we're gonna have Roscoe and Moxie's back on stream, going against Cheeseface and Elsom, which Cheeseface and Elsom just beat Kyler and Duplicate 3-1 to get here there, Jerry boy.
Yeah, Kyler and Doob, you know, Kyler definitely not so much of a 2v2's player himself. But, you know, seeing, you know, Kyler and Doob actually get as far as they did is impressive. But Cheeseface and Elsom managed to get out the win in the end. And they've got themselves a different demon that they have to face here with Moxies and Roscoe, who brought Asmodean Chair to Game 5 and almost ended up winning it if it wasn't for that Asmodee 1v2. But at the moment, it looks like Elsom is decided that it was a good idea to go to the toilet. Honestly, fair enough. But look, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Honestly,
yeah. All right, I have something against players, man. I don't, whether it be online or whether it be at LAN, because this happened a lot at DreamHack San Diego. Why the f do you guys take a right before you're set on stream? It doesn't matter if you're on stage. It doesn't matter if you're back in the lobby to play on stage. We're online there. No matter what, it always happens. But hey, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. As long as you're here ready to go and we need you. Well, that's pretty sad. But this is kind of funny between online and even like offline, like especially at San Diego. It happened a lot. So
yeah, look, it'll be interesting with it would have definitely been interesting with a LAN environment, but I haven't actually, I unfortunately didn't get to go to DreamHack because, you know, flights to San Diego was like 2-3K, cough.
Yeah, it was expensive.
Yeah, it would be expensive, but you know, the good news is if you are Australian, we are going to be having a LAN, which is, it's going to be a Battle Arena Melbourne. It's going to be from June 9th to June 11th, and Brawlhalla is going to be there. And I think to sign up for both tournaments, it's like I think for the registration fee, $60. To play in both tournaments, in ones and twos, it is $15 added onto that. So look, it'll be really exciting, and I will be down there, and I can't wait to see all of you down there as well, because please go. It's the first LAN that Australia will have for Brawlhalla since 2019. 4 years ago was the last time that Australia had a Brawl LAN. So it'll be brilliant if you guys can go down there, and I'll definitely be happy to see all of you down there as well. Looks like Elsom, we're still waiting on him, but it looks like Moxies and Roscoe, they haven't changed their legend picks, but Cheeseface, he's locking in the level 100 Azoth, which, hey, that's probably to be expected of this man. And if I had to take a guess as to what Elsom would be playing, probably a Hattori is my guess, as we do finally get Elsom in the lobby. And yeah, called it. It's the Hattori.
Hey, I mean, if you're Elsom, he's just trying to get the bathroom buff. I have to assume with how these players have been playing when they, and it's always funny because it's always the players that win that go to the bathroom. They always have some sort of bathroom buff. That's what I'm going to count it as now. Okay, they're trying to get their minds prepared for this. And Cheeseface and Elsom, we have the Azoth and Hattori. We're seeing Moxies on the Thatch, and we're seeing Roscoe on the Onyx. The stuff that we saw them already for. So with Moxies and Roscoe, with their synergy together, I really want to see how Cheeseface and Elsom really do, because they're both powerful players when it comes down to 2v2s. And I want to see these guys battle out until the final round. So we'll see what happens. We're going to game number 1 of the losers quarterfinals of Bearded Brawl 2v2s.
Yeah, and we have actually Miami Dome here for game number 1, which is a little bit of an interesting matchup. It looks like we're just doing a button check or a lag check, which it happens online, and even button checks would happen offline as well. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to just check your buttons, you know, check the ping as well. So,
yeah,
it's, you know, not an issue at all. It happens.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, when it comes down to these two teams, though, I really want to see who Cheeseface and Elsom got knocked into the losers by, because they actually got knocked into the loser side by Raigundes and Hipka. So, hey, I mean, Raigundes and Hipka are in winners finals, and if you're Roscoe and Moxie's, you gotta be like, okay, well, we can beat these guys, right? But at the same time, it's like that was also a team that went into winners finals that beat yeah, so we'll see what happens. We're going into game number 1 now. We're going to Apocalypse, and I kind of thought Miami Dome was going to be the map for the switch up, but they're like, hey, we want to feel comfortable. We want to make sure the ceilings and the walls of this map are easy to knock out on compared to some other maps.
Yeah, it's really that's what's been like the tried and true for 2v2s at the moment is this APOC. Because, you know, players can survive a little bit longer on it comparatively to others as we're getting into this game, and it looks really even here within the first, 30 seconds or so. Oh, try to get that combo, but it looks like Cheeseface is going to fly with that side tick by Moxie's. And now they are really trying to, pull this one back. Elsem really trying to go for that deep edge guard. He actually ended up touching, and he's going to make his way back, and he's got to try and protect his teammate, make sure that Cheeseface doesn't get a huge damage deficit as the default woohoo taunt comes out from Roscoe as he gets that KO. And look at the damage already being put onto Cheeseface. Tries to get second recovery, but it just doesn't hit.
Oh
nice side tick. And now they have a team combo opportunity. Oh, just missing that side tick. That would have been huge damage. Finally, they get the KO onto Roscoe. And now, as well, again, the double knockout coming out for Elsem on the Hattori.
Yeah, it comes down to, I mean, when it comes down to the blue team, it's kind of, I can already see how the red team's kind of approaching, where they're trying to combo Cheeseface and trying to get him low, but Elsom's the person that needs to be 2v1. They can kind of hold off Cheeseface a bit, but Elsom is a fantastic 1v2 player or 1v1 player as well, so I think red team's definitely considering that, and they're really focusing on trying to knock out Cheeseface to go ahead and do these 2v1 combos against Elsom.
Yeah, which this red team is really doing well, especially with their team combos. We saw that in the winners semi-final against Asmodee and Cher, and it really put them under a lot of strife as well, and it's really proving fatal against this blue team of Cheeseface and Elsom. But it's really there's a lot of damage here put onto this blue team, and they're gonna have to try and really work their way back. It'll be difficult. It's possible, but difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, they're already coming back a quite decent bit. I mean, compared to what it was, it almost was like a 2-stock disadvantage.
Oh no!
And Cheeseface get knocked out by the red team's edge guard. And Roscoe and Moxie's take game number 1, but blue team was catching up on them, Jerry. I mean, that just came down to really prioritizing the knockout options.
Yeah, and it really helped, especially within the first minutes or so, to just, take out Cheeseface early on. You had the chance against Elsom, and then when you knocked out Elsom, they went, this red team, Moxies and Roscoe, really just went straight back to Cheeseface, built so much damage on him, and then it just really the blue team really just started to struggle from there. They try to claw their way back, but this Moxies and Roscoe, they're just too good, man. They are just way too good. And we have the swap from Cheeseface. He's getting off that level 100 Azoth, and he's on Hattori this time. So double Hattori for this blue team. Cheeseface is definitely this, the Hattori is definitely something that he's considered a lot, especially in the 2v2s, where if he's not really comfortable on that Azoth, then he's just going to swap to Hattori. Maybe the Koji, but it definitely does look like the Hattori for now, as we're going to get into the map bans very soon, as they're taking their sweet loving time.
There's a little bit back and forth. Elsom saying he's gonna focus Roscoe, and Roscoe's like, I can kind of 2v1 you, and I'm like, just strike. So they're striking out right now.
Look, there's nothing like a little bit of Australian banter. It's if it's a majority of this game is you can make your team combos, and you can perform combos and strings and all that. A lot of this game is mental, and if you can get into your opponent's head, then the chances are you are probably going to win. And sometimes it doesn't matter how you get into their head for some players, as long as they can get into their head. And right now, that's probably what Elson was trying to do in the in-game chat. Did it work? Let's find out as we're going to go here into game number 2. As Cheeseface has put Moxie's in a huge position. Elson, yeah, in the head. He's in the head as an early KO onto Moxie's, and now Cheeseface and Elson, they have the advantage here in game number 2 so early on, but the question is going to be, can they hold it?
I thought it was kind of funny too, because Elson's like, come here, Roscoe, I'll be able to focus on you. And just for the blue team to focus on Moxie's, where Moxie's is like, uh-oh, I don't know what to do here. I'm kind of thrown off. So they definitely use that to their advantage.
No.
Red team coming in with a double knockout on both blue team members as we get to the 55-second mark. And Moxie's has to be very, very careful of holding their stock. Just because of how low they are on that second stock. So Roscoe has to be the person who is a little bit more aggressive, while Moxie's is the person kind of sticking back and make sure they don't get knocked out.
Yeah, Roscoe goes as well as Moxie's. That GC sidestick just hitting. That was huge. And now look at the stock difference. Roscoe and Moxie's are an entire stock apart. So if this blue team can really try and focus onto Moxie's, they can really get a 1v2 and try and put themselves on the scoreboard. But Cheeseface as well, there's a lot of damage being picked up on him as he gets hit by that side tick by Moxie's. And now the team combo comes out. That down tick, not enough to get the KO just yet, but Elson actually didn't have enough. The team combo. Oh, the recovery barely hitting, but so much damage onto Cheeseface already. That's what this red team is really, really good at. It's just the team combos left, right, and center, building up so much damage as Cheeseface getting knocked out to the side. And now they're trying to bring their way back into this, but Cheeseface, he's in the barbecue as Elson trying to get onto Moxie's. Cheeseface tries to confirm it. Roscoe tries to get the save, the weapon throw. Roxy's go. Roscoe goes and so does Moxie's. They have a chance. Roscoe, it's very possible for the 1v2 to happen if he can try and get the Cheeseface's stock, but he's really trying to keep the weapon away as it's looking so intense here.
It is, and I kind of like how the red team is like, weapon throw, let me try to save you a little bit. Just kind of knocks both of them out. But right now, blue team, I mean, originally the red team was really focusing on Cheeseface, really making sure they can go and knock them out. But I mean, blue team just felt the pressure and was able to make things a little bit more in their favor. But now Cheeseface being out makes it an Elsom and Roscoe 1v1. Technically, Elsom has this advantage just because of how well they are, or how good they are in 1v1s. But I don't know. Roscoe has a lot of that pressure right now. He's really showing it.
Oh, no.
Elsom's off that ledge. We might see a cannon ground pound right there or a signature like that. But it's going to be very, very close here, Jerry.
Yeah, it's getting so close. Roscoe can't get that punish. But now Roscoe is going to lose a weapon here. Elsom trying to get this edge guard confirmed as Roscoe goes high. Elsom just not hitting that neutral signature. So now Roscoe really trying to work his way around. The GC was burnt by both players, but no punishes come out. And now Elsom has the chance. Roscoe hoping to try and get a recovery on these gauntlets soon.
Nice.
And he's going to get the 1v2. 2-0 to Moxie's and Roscoe.
Yeah, and that's huge for them too. I mean, overall, red team was really, really good at their team combos. They showed how powerful they are as a team. And it came down to doing his 2v1 combo on Cheeseface, then doing it on Elsom. Elsom fell down, and then Cheeseface ran into another combo again. And I think right now for the blue team, Cheeseface really needs to focus on trying to get out of those 2v1 combos and really trying to find a way of countering them so that Elsom doesn't run into them as well. Because, I mean, that's what the red team's maximizing on. They are maximizing on Cheeseface. And I don't know what map they're going to go to here. I don't know if it's platform. It's probably Apocalypse again, knowing how Brawlhalla players are. Elsom's bringing up that at least my teammate isn't killing me. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. They're not striking at Demon yet. They knocked out Demon. There we go. So it's Apocalypse. There we are. And we're going into game number 3. Cheeseface and Elsom trying to find some type of synergy against the red team, but they're also giving the red team so much platform control, Jerry. It's insane.
Yeah, it's really interesting that this blue team, they had the 2v1 opportunity, but it just faltered in the end. But it's really, if this blue team can, you know, try and get their space control, which is probably one of the most important things that you can do against Moxies and Roscoe, which is what Asmodee and Chair ended up doing so well. It was that space control. It's just, you know, dividing up the red team, trying to keep them as far away from each other as possible. But looks like this blue team is really struggling to try and do that. But at the moment, you know, within the first 30 seconds, it looks a bit even, but Cheeseface ends up getting flown out. Oh, what a weapon throw, actually, by Cheeseface. That would definitely save Nelson's stock, but he's going to fly finally. Roscoe goes as well, and now Cheeseface has to try and convince himself to not get KO'd here as Elsem goes way deep, but, you know, all for nothing in the end.
Cheeseface is popping off this game. He knows what's going on. He knows what he needs to do. And he's realistically carrying his team. Elsum's just kind of there for the ride. I mean, and that's kind of what blue team really needs right now. Because, I mean, Elsum cannot do it by themselves. But Cheeseface knocks themselves out. But, I mean, they did allow for the blue team to have almost a whole stock lead over the red team. They just can't allow for the red team to be kind of together and land team combos now. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's probably going to be your main issue against Moxies and Roscoe. It is going to be those team combos, and at the moment, this blue team have done, you know, better in this game than, you know, in the past two to avoid them. It looks definitely a lot more even now, but it's really just a matter of, you know, buying yourself some time. Elsem trying to get that stock off of Moxies, but that side stick, it doesn't have enough force to be able to get that KO. Players flying everywhere. There goes Roscoe. Moxie's maybe soon to fall through, but look at Cheeseface's damage. He's in the burgundy sauce, and it's really looking interesting here. Oh, Cheeseface with a big slap of that side air. Now it's just how these stocks gonna fly, and most importantly, when. Now, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, blue team has it decently, but I can't talk a whole lot, man. I really can't, because of how the red team has been overall in this tournament with changing things into their favor. Like, they were trying to go on that team combo on Cheeseface. Now they have an opportunity just because of the fact that Elsum is gone and coming back onto that final stock. Cheeseface is now in the orange and things are now even. What is the blue team going to be able to do to make reparations for that?
Well, there is not really a whole lot that they can do from here, but they have tried to even it up so far. They just really need to hold on because they are on tournament stock. They do get the stock onto Moxies, though. Now Roscoe has the chance to 1v2 again, but this time, can the blue team close it out? They can. Finally, they put themselves on the scoreboard and they keep themselves alive in this tournament.
Yeah, and that came down to Cheeseface. I don't... Yes, I may have went a little bit overboard with saying Elsum's being carried on a ride, but overall, in the beginning of that game, Cheeseface did fantastic when it came down to that gameplay against the red team. And I mean, it came even towards the end. Cheeseface's spear, if they did not go off edge with that spear, that might have been a 1v1 situation that they may have not have won.
Yeah, and now it's there is no change here. And they're just, you know, getting the complete run back here in game number 4. Roscoe and Moxies, they're really trying to try and push themselves forward here. If they can try and get, you know, some early stocks, some early KOs, you know, make sure that Cheeseface and Elsem, you know, don't really have much of a chance, which you're really seeing a lot from Cheeseface and Elsem is they are, for the most part, they're really actually sticking quite close together. And Moxies and Roscoe, they just stay just a little far enough away from each other that, you know, they're not in each other's zone, but they can, you know, get the team combos whenever's needed. Nice save, actually, from Roscoe to make sure that Moxies doesn't get hit any further by that side sticker. Now, Cheeseface, nice follow-up there by Elsem, just building up more damage. Oh, nice work from Moxies. Not enough to get the KO just yet. Roscoe makes his way back in time, and now they're really trying to sort out the stocks. The order of what the stocks go in from now is super important for both teams. They can't really afford to try and lose their stocks first. And that's what's going to be important. Elsem Not enough. That breakdance, not enough to get the KO, but that's... Oh, no, Cheeseface doesn't hit that side air. Roscoe, you know, losing his first stock, but it's super important. Finally, there goes Cheeseface. Elsem and Moxies are going to be soon to follow.
Yeah, and I mean, since Cheeseface wasn't able to punish on knocking out Moxies too, it's not an even game anymore. It's in the red team's favor. And Cheeseface is able to follow up, and it does allow for the blue team to get some type of team combo on the Roscoe. Roscoe now in the orange. But I mean, overall though, yes, they might have missed one opportunity, but they definitely follow up on the next opportunity that was given. And at the moment, we're getting into almost just the 2-minute mark. We're seeing Roscoe and Moxie kind of throw each other around, allowing for Elsem to kind of deal with Roscoe by themselves and try to involve a Hattori neutral signature here and there. So Cheeseface doing a lot better going into game number 4 and game number 3 as well, and really showing what they're made of. And Roscoe is now down to that final stock.
Yeah, it's really been interesting that, you know, Cheeseface and Elsem's mentals for now have been able to hold on. You know, they were 2-1 down, and now they are basically leading here in game number 4 after taking game number 3 for themselves. But, you know, if their mentals can hold on as Elsem gets sent flying, Cheeseface trying to keep himself alive, but that downlight now is going to be enough for Roscoe. And now both of these blue team members are on tournament stock. Elsem getting hit by both of the cannonballs, but they do get the KO onto Moxies. And now they are trying to bring themselves around, try and turn this match around. If Roscoe and Moxies get the last 2 stocks from here, they end up going through to the losers semi-final. But if Cheeseface and Elsem can get it from here, we go to a game 5.
Yeah, it's going to come down to really seeing what Cheeseface really does against the red team. I mean, Elsem can deal with a 2v1 to a degree. Oh, nice neutral signature landing on the red team. I mean, look at the sword gameplay from both of these teams right now. And as I say that, both blue team members weren't able to maximize there on the Moxies, allowing for Roscoe to kind of come in and say, you know what, I'm now here to do some damage. And nice weapon throw by Cheeseface. Cheeseface having an opportunity of his lifetime. Can he get the knockout option there on the red team? Oh, Moxies comes in with a combo there.
Oh, the team combo! That's going to KO Elsem!
Oh, no! Cheeseface now having to deal with a 2v1 against Moxies and Roscoe here as we get to almost the 4-minute mark. Having to do something. He's got to be very careful of those signature knockouts. Gets the spear recovery, almost knocks out Roscoe. Notice if one more recovery lands on Roscoe, they go ahead and get it.
Oh, hang on.
Comes out. Moxie.
Pause.
Oh, Cheeseface having a 1v1 now. Can he do this? He needs to do it right now. Silent into helicopter grab out, barely misses. And right now it is down to the wire. Moxie's doing a sire the wrong way. And Cheeseface is alive, is able to touch the platform. Weapon thrower comes in. Silent comes in, misses the signature.
Oh, no,
Moxies
that's
with
gonna
the
be it.
punish. Moxies. Roscoe taking that set 3-1 over Cheeseface and Elsem just because of that final option. That would have made a game 5, Jerry boy.
It would have been a game 5, but Moxies manages to hold his nerve down, as it was beautiful play in the end by Roscoe and Moxies. And Cheeseface and Elsem, they were a fighting spirit. They really almost brought that back. But just in the end, unfortunately, they get knocked out here at 5th. But I believe for now, we are going to go to a short ad break. We're going to do a bit of a casters swap. And yeah, it was been really fun actually to cast with you, AJ. What are your thoughts actually from you know, the 4 games that we first saw up?
I'm still distracted by Cheeseface and Elsem, how close that 4th game was. I mean, overall though, I love Australia's playstyle where it's not too aggressive like North America's is, where they kind of pace it out a little bit overall. It's not like you have a minute, 2 minute, 3 minute sets, or games, I should say, not sets. But yeah, with that being said, man, I mean, that was a fantastic matchup between those players, man. And with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the matches that I was on the stream tonight. And when we come back, we're going to have Jerry Boy and I believe A-Search coming back for you guys for top 4 of Bearded Brawl 2v2s. And there are some fantastic teams here for you guys to watch. There are going to be some amazing game 5s for you.
Yeah, it'll be some very brilliant games as we're going to get into the top 4, but, you know, don't go anywhere. We're going to go to a short ad break. We're going to do a bit of a caster swap, and we will see you very soon.
All right, see you guys in a bit.
Yo, welcome back. We are here at the top 4 of the Bearded Brawls 2v2. My name is that Jerry Boy, and I have iSurge with me, or A-Surge. I never know how to pronounce it, but I've got A-Surge with me for this top 4. How are you feeling about all this, man?
I'm feeling good. I was watching prior to being on commentary. I thought it was pretty interesting to watch. I really liked. I know it's been a long break between them, but that last set was very close with Cheeseface and Elsum, and that was really fun to watch. Having a good time, and not to worry about how to pronounce my name. It is A-Surge, but it's okay. The TO of this whole tournament pronounces it wrong intentionally every time I've ever spoken to him.
Oh, yeah, God.
He's
all right.
But definitely gonna look forward to.
So we are going to be Asmodee and Chair up against Doggo and Vey. Doggo and Vey, you know, they've won multiple 2v2 tournaments before. Obviously, Doggo having won a lot of the 2v2 tournaments in like 2020, 2021, and Vey being a lot more recent in 2022 and even this year as well. We have the selections coming in. There's not really any changes, but Vey is going to go with the Kaya that he was on for game number 1. Oh, he's deselected. Never mind, it's the Orion. As Modi and Chair, they're sticking to what they definitely have been using in the past. It is that Lucian and for Chair, and that Vector for Asmodee, and Doggo on the Sidra. And we're gonna go into map banning very shortly, but it is interesting to see. You know, I'll be interested to see how this plays out, especially with Doggo. He isn't playing with Raigundas, and Vey, he isn't playing with Hipka. So the synergy against probably a stronger, you know, set of opponents here with Asmodee and Chair, who, mind you, they got second in their first twos tournament together, and that was Springs. That was Spring Championships. They got twos. They got second in twos together. They only ended up losing out to Hipka and Vey in the end, but I can try and, you know, play around Vey and try and play against this Asmodee and Chair as we're going to go into game number 1 on Apocalypse.
Yeah, certainly excited to see some of the particularly blasters and bow combinations that they may have worked on. I know they've been playing together for a while. It's just always fun to see kind of a not common team comp together between the two of them and see how they play around these guitars. You know, in these combo situations, it can be really tough for guitars, but so far haven't really built up a lot of damage on either. So far, Chair has taken quite a bit. There's Modi on the bow, just trying to hunt around for these juggles, maybe keep Vey up and keep the blue team from staying kind of squeezing in onto Chair. Doing a decent job so far. Mostly even between the two, Doggo and Chair taking quite a bit of damage as Chair tries to edgeguard Vey, but instead gets edgeguarded himself, and no options left unless there's a save from Vey, and there is a nice bow in there. Oh! And Modi goes up and just neutral stakes, and Chair survives, but Doggo goes down, and now a combo might be able to take out Vey. Not going to do it. Vey makes it back, but now Doggo has to make up a lot of ground for his teammate to try to turn this back into an even game. Asmodee is really not hurt on this first stock. And there goes Chair. Asmodee still, again, in kind of just light orange. Feeling very fine so far. Just trying to find this stock.
Yeah, we definitely saw, you know, Asmodee is really surviving on this stock. But as well as Vey, also, oh no, Chair tried to go for the follow-up, but Asmodee actually ends up catching herself in the way. But potentially that side would have for sure knocked out Vey, so maybe Chair might have been at fault there. But Vey is still alive, and he's still able to tell another tale for another day as Vey gets that KO onto Asmodee. Chair really is trying to just avoid everything. That Blaster's recovery is actually going to get the KO. Doggo can't get the save in time. Now they have the chance to try and, you know, build up some damage onto Doggo. Chair really needs to try and survive here for this red team, but, you know, Doggo and Vey, they are a different pair of demons on their own. Nice save actually there from Chair to make sure that they can't really team combo Asmodee and bring the deficit down. Spear recovery, tries to go for a second one. Vey just keeping himself in the mixture for now. A lot of damage put on to Doggo as he's going to get KO'd by that bow recovery as Modi, actually ends up hitting their teammate. And Chair's actually going to be KO'd for it, as Modi does make it back eventually. That side end, not enough to get the KO just yet. Doggo just squeezing himself out and around, but he makes his way back. And it's even Stevens here, maybe a bit more damage onto his Modi than this red team would like, but look, it's winnable for either team here as Vay gets ground pounded by this lance of Asmodi.
Wow. Yeah, Vay on the first stock did a really great job of stock tanking, and on the second stock, it just disappeared in an instant, and all of a sudden, blue team is behind, although they get the stock of Asmodi, and if they can play this 2v1 correctly, side recovery, Chair is in trouble. This is a really high ceiling map, although it doesn't really matter. No save from Asmodi, and all of a sudden, the game flips on its head. It was looking really great for the red team, and now Asmodi has to try to clutch up a 1v2 with the bow.
Yeah, we've seen her already clutch up a 1v2 before in this tournament, but there is, the damage was probably a little bit more in Asmodi's favor. Vay and Doggo are really good at just punishing their opponents, as we're already seeing. Just a couple hits and Asmodi is evenly damaged up compared to her opponents. But she's really just trying to avoid a lot for now. Doggo just priming up the sword, doesn't want anything to do with that cannon just yet. Asmodi really just trying to dance around, trying not to throw out anything that'll get her punished like that. But she's really trying to hold on right now. If she can succeed, it'll be huge for this red team. But she gets sent out to the side. Vay keeping a weapon away. Down like Nair on the sword, didn't have the recovery option available for Doggo. And now Asmodi really trying to keep herself away from everything. Ends up getting hit by the neutral sig. And that's going to be game one for Doggo and Vay.
Kind of a funny way for that, that game to end. Asmodi was just dancing around all these different moves, and then Doggo holds a neutral signature for the entire duration of how long you can hold it. And Asmodi's like, all right, yeah, then we'll just go to game two. Like, it's fine. Definitely. I mean, it was pretty impressive that Asmodi was able to take a stock from Vay really quickly and turn it into a advantage for them, but Chair, a bit of a liability at the end on that final stock, just lost it so quickly. The side lights recovery and just gets edge guarded in the 2v1. Tough situation to be in for sure. Hopefully not going to get in their heads too much as they go into a game two. Definitely, as you said, the more experienced team together than Vay and Doggo, although Vay and Doggo have played better in the game one so far. So pretty interesting to see as we move into game two, and already some nice damage with this Lance. I think if I could characterize what I've seen from Vay a lot in a lot of these recent tournaments is that Vay is really good at these follow-ups off of Lance aerials, particularly the directional, the Sarah Dare, although, man, it's Asmodi with the bow, the edge guards, and no save from Vay, and they just both go down. A bit of a save your buddy syndrome, trying to save Doggo, I believe, and it just couldn't do it, and now down 2 complete stocks. A terrible situation for blue team.
Yeah, it was a little bit interesting. Doggo had the cannon in hand, and Vay tried to go down and get a recovery, but he was way too high, and Doggo actually ended up hitting him with a nair on the cannon, which ended up actually taking out a lot of Vay's options, and he couldn't make it back from that. But you know, if things happen like that in 2v2, sometimes you try and save your teammate, and especially when they are all the way down there, you don't know what's going to happen. As now they try and get the team come onto Chair as they take out Asmodi. Asmodi getting sent all the way, Chair getting sent down to the side, but he does make his way back eventually. Doggo and Vay, they are looking in KO % very soon, but they get the stock off of Chair, and they can't really get any 1v2 opportunity against Asmodi. Just the movement from her is way too good right now. That side sig actually ends up connecting. Double end sig from Vay. I mean, look, it's Vay on Orion. I'm not sure if you can expect much else. I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to expect much else. But now, really, there's a lot of juggling happening onto Chair right now. He does make his way back, though. That down signature connecting, and a second one. Not enough to get the KO just yet. I'm so used to that down sig just KOing way earlier than what it does now. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, that nerf definitely changed the way I view Orion signatures, although definitely still very strong. And honestly, fairly impressively, blue team have brought this back into an even game. Asmodi might be able to clean it up. She's very good on this bow, as we know, trying to hunt for these KOs, get in between, because the worst thing for the red team right now is if Chair takes a lot of damage, and they get into a deficit, basically what happened before, where Asmodee will lose a stock and the 2v1 will just eliminate Chair's stock. And it's not what they're trying to have happen right now, although Doggo's quite damaged on this final stock, so it may be the complete opposite. As they find the stock on Vey, and now the 2v1 situation, Doggo has to make it back somehow. No options left, they catch the jump, and that's it. That might... Oh no, the Nair
Doggo
save
makes
from
his
an
way
arm.
back.
Vey goes down, and perfect situation all of a sudden is turned for the red team. And now Vey will probably do a great job of getting in between and trying to make sure that Doggo is able to stock tank, put up some good damage so that this game could turn into fairly even. As Odie's still quite hurt on a second stock, has not even gone down onto the final stock. A great situation for red team so far as they find the stock onto Doggo, and now Vey has to play into a 2v1.
Yeah, Vey is going to really try and use a lot of these Lance aerials to try and create himself some space. Hopefully get that stock onto Asmodee, but as she holds down a ground pound on that bow, but yeah, it's not looking the greatest for Vey right now. He's just using Lance ground pound on stage, as one does. As one does. Oh no, Asmodee getting a couple nairs. That GC Ensec actually not enough to connect. It barely missed as Vey was just way over to the side. He does get a stock onto Asmodee though, so there is a chance here for Vey. Albeit slim, there is a chance.
It's, I don't know. Vey plays very interesting. Brawlhalla is very fun. Oh man, nairing both players and then just the killer instincts from Chair, just going right up with that guitar recovery. Knows exactly how to find it. Doesn't recover instantly out of hit stun. Waits for the jump and jumps himself. Finds the stock. Asmodee played very good, really good damage with the bow, and honestly the lance fairly impressive. Those nairs, that neutral signature that almost connected, and I mean, high level lance is very fun to watch. I gotta say, watching Vey play this Orion, it's options that I don't think I would see anybody else pick and feel like shouldn't be working, but then they do, right? The double neutral signature from the wall onto both red team players. They just, I don't know, just a different way of playing the game, but it works. Although they go down, or they go even 1-1 to game 3, but still a good bounce back from the red team, who had somewhat of a tough situation in the first game, so might be looking to build up some momentum off of that as we go into a game 3. Everybody picking up a weapon except for Doggo so far, and red team trying to weapon starve, no dice. It's cannon, and Vey playing from the corner with the spear, and it's really tough so far. It looks like the red team has held stage control for a really long time, and it's started to bear a lot of damage for them. Catching the landing of Doggo. Both of these 1v1s are working out for the red team. It's building up so much damage to finally get a nice combo in, but it gets interrupted by Chair. Doggo will dodge out of the guitar string, but still an advantage for the red team, as Odie has not been hit on her first stock that much so far, and now, man, that Sarah could have been something so close, although Chair will just lose a stock just like that, and the bow recovery isn't going to do it. Such a high ceiling on this map. Vey not going to clean it up either. They have to take this stock. Asmodee put him in such a good position, although Vey able to make it back, barely finds the touch off of the Lance Sarah. And Asmodee, she's still in trouble. Blue team is doing great so far. Vey won't get KO'd by that, and now with the Lance, might be able to make it back. Blaster's recovery isn't going to do it, and Doggo able to get into the way. Both players, just one hit will do it for either of them to put them in a nice advantage. Finally, sidelit recovery from Asmodee is going to do it, and Chair, the down signature, is going to take it out. Asmodee has been stock taking so effectively. She's so good at that. I've noticed with this Lance. Just got to make sure that not too much damage gets built onto Chair so you don't take a disadvantage.
Yeah, but, you know, a little bit of a team combo, and that GC downsync on the cannon is going to put Chair into the red. And he's really trying. Ooh, that side air is going to be enough to KO Asmodee. Hang on, Chair!
Oh,
hang on! Chair, what are you doing? Oh, okay, everybody makes it back, but Chair had like 3 down airs, and all of them hit blue team members, and they were honest to God, so close to getting gimped, but you know, they all make their way back, and now Chair really trying to, you know, make sure that he survives here, which is going to be the most important thing for him. He's really in that burgundy. That side air on the spear hits, and the down sig is going to get the stock. Chair tried to get away from it, but oh, nice down sig actually on the bow of Asmodee. That's going to get the stock as well. And look, stocks are flying, and at the moment, it's a dead even game here in game number 3.
It's really unfortunate that I think Chair wasn't able to find those gimps, but double gimping people in 2s is very difficult. They will just be able to save each other, and that's what happened. Really unfortunate, though. It was pretty impressive, those down airs, and now, honestly, a remarkably even game. It looked kind of rough for Red Team. They had such an asymmetrical set of stocks where Asmodee was tanking, but that meant that Chair was taking too much damage on a lower stock. But Chair doing good so far, and now if they can find the stock of Doggo effectively, Doggo's got hands though, will recover Asmodee up to the top, getting out of the neutral signature. That could have been scary for Chair, but no. And now it's Chair who's in the most trouble at the moment, taking so much damage onto this final stock. Although Doggo as well, I mean, it's really, you have to hunt for the stocks of Chair and for Doggo right now. Doggo up off the top, the Nair is not going to do it, but able to find a juggle. Doggo somehow able to land. Asmodee still hunting with this bow. Just so effective at just like the KO efficiency, able to find these hits, which is remarkable with bow and lance to talk about. But still, Asmodee trying to find it. Very even game. Asmodee the only one that isn't in KO percent at the moment. Delight Sayer not going to do it for Vey, but tough situation. No KO on the Chair from the teammate, but such an even game right now. The down is going to do it. Now it's just Doggo. Sayer.
So now no more Doggo. Yeah, there's something to mention was that, you know, there was a huge deficit within those, you know, first two stocks, but then when it came to everybody on their last stocks, you know, Chair, excuse me for yawning, oh my goodness, but yeah, Chair and Doggo, you know, they were so damaged, and Asmodee and Vey were like really holding on, and then the damage was like brought to almost even, so it was just a case of trying to get the stock as soon as possible, and you know, blue teams were the one to blink first. So right now it's 2-1 to Asmodee and Chair, and if they win this next game, they put themselves into grand finals on the winner's side.
Uh-oh. The Kaya has come out Vey off of the Orion. I'm interested to see that unique playstyle I talked about earlier with the Orion, how it's gonna shift over to the Kaya. Haven't seen the Vey Kaya in a minute, so definitely very interesting. Fairly common legend, but maybe not as much in this region. We get it back into it. Definitely, I mean, that game, blink of an eye, and both stocks were gone. Might be what happened now. No, man, so close. Unarmed and sword is a potent combo, but not able to find the stock there or even that much damage. And Vego is hunting instead of following up, and now a nice combo. There's so much damage onto the red team. Not able to find a stock, but such an advantage for the blue team so far. This combo potential has really shed its light in this game 4, as the blue team has done a great job following up off of these spear and sword starters with KO moves. That's going to do it. Daylight Sayer. Now Chair has to play from behind. Downsigner not going to do it, but it creates the room for Doggo to go for an edge guard. The recovery will beat out the sword there, and now Chair, bit of a reversal, not going to do it. Vey makes it back, and the ground pound is going to cover it. Scary position for a Lance to be in. No options. Vey now having to save Doggo.
Whoa.
Weird situation. Doggo just goes down, hits nothing, and loses all of his options, but unfortunate. Still the advantage for blue team. Vey not that hurt on this first stock. I hadn't noticed that, but a great position for blue team.
Yeah, it is a good position for blue team nonetheless. If this red team can try and find the stock, that neutral sig on the Lance almost did it, but now they have the chance to try and, you know, apply some pressure onto Doggo while Vey was off stage. They couldn't quite exactly execute it. That's a nice neutral sig again on the Lance. The side air, Vey trying to chase Asmodee, and is going to get KO'd for it, and now Doggo trying to make his way back. He does end up, you know, getting back onto the stage, but he is the most damaged out of anyone here, but Vey trying to put some damage onto Chair. Chair makes his way back, and now we've got ourselves a bit of a game. Oh no, that down sig not enough to connect us. Asmodee trying to get the Lance reads, but Vey gets actually the KO onto Chair, and now this is looking really good here for this blue team. If they can try and hold on to their stocks, try and tank them out for as long as they can.
Such a scary position. Vey with the ground pound. Asmodee in trouble on the left side as Dog was able to find that stock, and now it's hunting Chair right now. If they're able to find the stock, although Chair with the reversal, Guitar Sayer, such a strong move, and now what was a really great position for the blue team. If they find the stock of Doggo, it is almost completely even. And I mean, Chair has been in this position a lot so far this set of being from behind and having to survive as long as possible. So definitely experienced. Clearly, Asmodee is going to have to play in the center here, try to get some pressure off of Chair so that Chair can survive and Asmodee can do the damage with this Vector. She's done a great job of it so far. She's doing so good with this bow, just getting in between. Chair hasn't really been hit that much, as Vey is starting to take a bit of damage, and this game turns towards even. Asmodee getting a bit juggled, but still somewhat of a nervous game at the moment. Not a lot of hits, a lot of misses. On the left side, Chair goes for a down signature, not going to connect, and now red team takes a bit of stage control.
Oh,
Immediately, no, neutral signature not going to do it. There's both players a lot of damage so far for red team. Oh man,
yeah,
Ground Pound's going to do a delight there. It's just Asmodee left.
Yeah, Asmodee's 1v2 before, but Ave and Doggo, they are not just yet going to get the KO. Asmodee chasing herself high. Now she grabs onto the lance. Doggo try to get the weapon stuff, but Asmodee too quick. And now they're just trying to get themselves a back and forth, try and find something that will create some space. Lance is good at that with the side airs. Oh, the side signature doesn't connect, and that's an unnecessary team combo that's going to get the KO, but it's also going to bring this to a game number 5 in winners final.
Wow, man, that was so close. That really felt doable for Asmodee. She'd been playing so good this set so far, and a game 5 immediately. Honestly, I wasn't super sure if that's what we were going to get, but sometimes it's how it has to be. The first 4 games really don't matter at this point. Now it's about this is pretty much it, right? This is the winner's side game for both of them. And surprised to see it be this close, but I mean, Vey and Doggo playing remarkably well so far in this set. Just doing a really great job of, I believe, just executing a game plan of hunting Chair, basically, and trying to make sure that Asmodee is not able to get in between, because Chair has been playing from behind pretty much this entire set, trying to stock tank. And the 2 games that they won were the 2 games where they were able to do the same thing towards Doggo or Vey, put them down and create this asymmetrical stock situation. They'll look to do it again in this game 5 already. Asmodee, you can see Asmodee like stands between them, and Chair wants to stand in the corner and follow up. Asmodee does such a great job of standing between to put Chair in a great position to not take too much damage early on, because that would be such a bad situation for the red team. This Chair standing here, I mean, Doggo has taken a lot of damage so far, and Vey, I mean, both red team members are lower damage than blue team, putting up a lot of damage on them so far with his guitars and with his lance. Hitting them both, but Asmodee a bit of friendly fire, not too much damage, but that ground pound is a big deal. If Vey's able to follow up another one, and that's it, that KO'd, the Chair is gone. And now Asmodee in a lot of trouble getting double edge guarded in a 2v1 situation. Blue team just turned it around in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, both ground pound can really do that to you. It's probably the strongest ground pound out of any of the game, and it really does show when, you know, you hit one, they get sent flying, you hit a second one, and they go again. And oh, that's a nice down sig as Asmodee ends up getting put onto her second stock. Vey, this was a leading game at the moment for Asmodee and Chair, but anything can happen in 2v2s, and sometimes games just turn on their head very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, Vey still sticking around somehow, but that's a problem because that means Doggo's gonna lose the stock. Oh, the save, but still in trouble. But now Chair goes down. What a confusing situation. Chair able to make it back, and now blue team Doggo on last stock, Vey on second stock. Both have not been touched. This is a very weird situation. If blue team can make this back, if they're able to put a lot of damage on either Asmodee or Chair, and Chair has already taken quite a bit, but for red team, it will be Operation Find Doggo. Although Chair loses the stock to his side signature really early, and the neutral signature is going to take out Asmodee, and now blue team has the advantage. A game just turns on its head like that, as the signatures from the Kaya, this character switch has done wonders for the blue team right now, as they've won the last game, and now they're in such a good position so far. Although Doggo on this final stock has taken a lot of damage. Vey's done a great job in this game, but Doggo might need to survive a little bit longer to make this a doable game for Vey.
Yeah, it's going to be really important because Doggo, there is a lot of damage on him. Look at him. He's in the red, and Asmodee is just trying to chase him down, trying to get that KO as quickly as possible. Vey, Asmodee, and Chair, really similar damages all around, but Doggo has to survive. They try and get some team damage onto Asmodee, which does put her in a little bit of an orangish situation. Now she kind of puts herself into the red. Vey tries to squeeze their way around, hitting Asmodee and Chair with this bow just one by one. As you just see a lot of it coming out. Downsig comes out from Chair. They tried to get Doggo soon, but Chair ends up getting sent flying by that Kaya Ensig on the bow again. It's just been a lot of those. that side by side and not enough to get the KO just yet. Doggo does get taken out by his Modi's lance. And
Oh my
Chair
God.
actually gets hit. But no, he does make his way back. Amazing save actually by his Modi. And now this red team, they have to try and survive here. Anything that Vey hits them with will just result in an immediate death. And they have to try and work their way back here. Finally, they get the stock on Vey, but he still has another one to go. So the question is, who takes charge here? How do you sort everything out? How do you try and get this 1v2 sorted when you're, a blink away from death? That's not enough to get the KO.
It's so close, but I mean, really, it's impressive. Both red team members have not. Oh man, there it goes. Caster's Curse. The recovery is going to do it. Now Asmodee has such a tough position to be in. Probably, I mean, top 1 in the 1v1s, but it doesn't really matter if you're playing from this far behind. Vey with this Kaya has done so much. Just another nair. That's what both players are looking for. Trying to find the juggle. Doesn't get the up dodge on a nair.
That's
Is
gonna
gonna
be
do it. Vey clutches it out with 2 stocks to go, and man, an absolute clinic, a legacy set from Vey, switching to the Kaya, and 700 damage almost in both game 4 and 5. Basically dragging Doggo to the finish line. What an impressive set from Vey.
Yes, 695 damage in game 5 and getting all 6 KOs as well. And that's going to send us Modi and Cher into the loser's side of the bracket. But now we're going to go down to that loser's side of the bracket. We are going to go into the loser's semi-final. And it is going to be Raigundas and Hipka up against Moxie's, Roscoe and Moxie's. So these are teams, they haven't fought yet in this tournament. But it's going to be interesting to see how and if and who actually can manage to push themselves through over the finish line and get themselves that 3rd place. But it'll be interesting to see how they push through from here. I will be interested to see who wins out from here. My guess is probably Raigundas and Hipka, probably, but Moxies and Roscoe, they've been improving a lot of late. So if they manage to win out from here, I won't entirely be surprised.
Yeah, I think what's going to be most interesting about the set as compared to the upper bracket final is like that set did not have a lot of the team combo, like one hit, all of a sudden the set is completely turned kind of. It was more of the separate 1v1s and trying to put a lot of damage into one player. But I think this set is going to have a lot more of that, because I'm fairly certain from memory in the previous set that Hip and Rega displayed, it was double spear, right? And so
Yeah.
I think we're going to be getting a lot of like hunting for these combos, the blasters from Mox's on this thatch, if that's what they elect to play. But I think if I remember correctly, it was Orion Hattori, and that, I mean, the combo game from that setup, those two characters, is just, it's so potent. Double spear, even without like the DIing, right? You can still sidelight D-light, and all of a sudden a stock just flies like that. So I think we're going to be looking at a lot of those combos as compared to the winners finals, which is going to make for a more potent set. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see, because it can just turn on its head just like that in a moment's notice. So definitely looking forward to it. But I do think you're right. I think Hipka and Regan does probably have the advantage here, but it would be very interesting to see how Roscoe and Moxie handle it. Coming off of that 3-1, that super close set that they played earlier.
Yeah, it was, maybe some aspects of that game where they were playing against Cheeseface and Alstom. Maybe some of it was a little bit too close for comfort for maybe some of them, but they ended up just winning it out in the end. Maybe a little bit, some matches pretty comfortably, other matches not so much. But Raigundas and Hipka, this is almost an entirely different beast that they're gonna have to try and fight and get themselves into that top 3. But at the moment, players are still trying to get their selection sorted, still trying to sort themselves out. But it'll be interesting to see how Moxies and Roscoe go up against this, double spear with a lance involved, and Moxies and Roscoe probably have a very interesting combination with their two legends, the Onyx and the Thatch. But as we go into the map bans here for game number 1, we are going to most likely be going to Apocalypse, but it'll be interesting to see how they go from here. It's a completely different new set. It's a completely different new mindset that both of these players are going to have to go through. And I can't wait to see what happens from here.
Yeah, I think very underrated part of a best of 5, because people usually love talking about the game 5s and how important game 3 when it's 1-1 is. But game 1, how it opens, it can be so nervous sometimes. So I really enjoy seeing how that breaks out, where some players just get off very aggressive, and that'll usually catch people out at the start of the set, because as it starts, you're nervous. It's an important set. This is for 4th place top 3 for the winner. So pretty big deal so far, and already some nice damage built up onto Hipka from these blasters. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of blasters combinations with the gauntlets, so strong as we've been seeing for months and months in pretty much every region. It's so good. Although, the up at the top, spear recovery is not going to do it. Moxies, that was a scary position to be in, and now the advantage is starting to shift towards this red team. Although Hipka's taken a lot of damage, it's Raigundas that has taken basically none on this Hattori. Although that could be not good. Although Hipka trying to find the edge guard, not going to do it. Moxie's going to get edge guarded himself by this ground pound. Another ground pound from the gauntlets, but the save comes in from Raigundas. And now trying to find this stock of Roscoe. Not going to do it. So close, though, for...
Yeah, so I'd like to say is going to get Roscoe out, and now Hipka and Raigundas, they have to try and, hold on to these stocks as long as possible, try and build up some more damage onto this blue team, but Hipka getting sent out to the side as both players are basically in barbecue red, as Hipka's the first to go for the red team, and Raigundas is going to follow suit very soon, you would imagine, but he's really just trying to hold on. Both of the blue team members shifting towards the center, trying to build up the damage onto Hipka. And now it's going to be interesting to see if Raigundas can try and hold on. Ooh, almost reads the dodge, but there's the recovery on the cannon. That's going to get the KO, and fairly even here so far. Ooh, nice ground pound. Moxies does make his way back, though. He did have enough options. GC downline recovery, not enough to get the KO onto Moxies, but it's brilliant damage nonetheless. Now it's... oh no, Moxies is in a little bit of trouble, and so is Roscoe. Just a team damage, team build up galore here. That's going to finally get the KO, and now Roscoe has to try and survive here, as well as his teammate Moxies. It's not looking good here for this blue team.
Roscoe with the dances off stage, still again surviving. Moxies with the interrupt and the recovery isn't able to do it, and oh man, dodges high out of that, but still Hipka not able to find it. Roscoe has survived. I cannot believe that. Off stage, nearly just done. Finally, the side signature is going to do it, but a lot of extra credit done from what should have been a done stock. Although, oh, no follow-up. Probably thought he was a bit more damaged than that. And now Hipka, if they find this stock, this would be a nice game, but still, Moxie's taken a ton of damage so far. The save comes in from Raigundas, and man, this red team, they're putting up so much extra credit on this stock. A delay into not a true combo, and a tough position for blue team. A bit of spaghetti everywhere, and finally able to find Hipka and Raigundas with that ground pound. But Moxie's has taken a lot of damage, and Roscoe on this Onyx, very tanky legend, but still has taken a decent amount of damage themselves. Still has to find a way to get in the middle of this and take the pressure off of Moxies, but not able to do it. Raigundas with the spear is so good at putting the damage onto Moxies. Moxies having to play, and now the 2v1 onto Roscoe, and the damage is basically even for both blue team members. Not where you want to be because they're both so hurt. Really tough position, and Moxie's trying to recover, but now that means that they're going to put the hurt onto Roscoe. They're doing such a great job, red team, of switching targets the second someone is not immediately within their range so that they can 2v1. And blue team is taking so much damage because of it. They not able to make it back. Moxies gets sent all the way to oblivion on the left side. Now Roscoe has to blend into it.
Yeah, so not really a good place to try and 1v2, especially with how burnt out your last stock is. Hipka and Raigundas have done really well to hold on to all of their stocks and just try and build up that extra credit, try and build up that extra damage, as the breakdance is going to give them game number 1.
Red team played around those fights so well, where they just they would send one person to the left, and then the other person would try to Roscoe gets sent far on the left side, and Moxie's now, because they got sent from the right side, comes back in and gets 2v1, and then they send Moxie's way out, and Moxie's has to try and recover, and then by the time Roscoe's come back, and they 2v1 Roscoe, like, the damage and the way that they were shifting targets back and forth to 2v1 is so fluid. They were just dancing around. It was very impressive. Hopefully they'll be able to take that back in, but blue team trying to put, I mean, some more, both teams really want this team combo potential, and man, Ifka's just letting them rip these neutral signatures, and it's just working. Roscoe got hit by 2, and now already in orange. Red team has already started out the gates playing phenomenally, but not finding these combos, just doing a great job of, man, never mind. No D-Light Sarah, not going to do it, but still a lot of damage onto the blue team so far. Roscoe quite hurt. Moxie's not far off. Regendas is taking a lot too. They might be able to find the stock of Regendas, but still, red team, I mean, the second that they're hurt, they just come together and defend each other. Moxie's not able to find the stock, but now all of a sudden, red team on the right side, they will be able to double save each other, maybe, and the friendly fire from Roscoe. Now Moxie's has to try and recover, and Roscoe's going to be in the 2v1, but able to dance around a little bit, find the hits, and now, I mean, it's a truly even game. This is such an important moment to try and find these stocks, and nobody is getting KO'd. Finally, Roscoe's going to go with Moxie's will as well to spear there, and now red team with another advantage.
Yeah, it's really both like even all 4 of these players really just trying to hold on to their stocks, trying to make them count as much as they can, as that's fun. That weapon throw actually gets the KO, as Moxie's with a beautiful D-Light ground pound punish on the unarmed is gonna get the stocks as well. So it's evened up a little bit in the course of this game number 2, but it's looking really dangerous here for either parties. You know, especially with now that there's a lot of damage being put up onto this blue team. Both members are getting into the orange with this double spear, and Moxies and Roscoe, they really have to try and find a way back, and how they do that is, well, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I mean, the edge guards from Roscoe might be able to do it with these gauntlets. They're both able to make it back, unfortunately, but still, I mean, if you can't find the finish on an edge guard, it's still a lot of damage. And so, man, no KO onto these blue teams. They've been doing a great job of surviving on these second stocks. The middle part of the game, finally Moxie's will drop, but if Roscoe's able to find even just one, it would be a much better situation than was earlier. Man, what a down signature coming out. But with the answer from Moxie's, Regendas goes on to final stock, and now if they can find the stock of Hipko, we've got ourselves a game. But at the same time, blue team could just, or red team could just put a lot of damage onto both blue team members as they were doing before, and I see Hipka stock taking forever. No, the Sarah's gonna do it. Now a pretty even game so far. A 2v1 onto Regendas, just a couple nairs, but still a lot of value. Roscoe with the wake-ups, now big damage from blasters and gauntlets. That's a big deal. Regendas took a ton of damage for that, and now Hipka gets him hit as well. Red team has taken a lot of damage. This game was in red team's favor for so long, but now blue team is taking it back, although these stray hits from the spear, the neutral signatures, down signatures, man, everybody is hurt in this game except for Hipka. It could be another one of those moments to notice that down signature. It was fully charged. That is gonna do it. Moxie's no save. And now Hipka trying to find this edge guard. Weapon throw isn't gonna do it. This is very doable for Moxie's. Slip his way in, finds a Sarah, and now maybe an edge guard. Might be able to get this 1v2 in. Holding center stage so far. Hipka uses every option, but no landing punish from Moxie's, and now trying to dance around this platform. Just more options to try to mix up so that Moxie's isn't able to catch his landings, but still, I mean, Moxie's has turned this almost around. Though Sarah punishes the side signature. Maybe some kind of spear dare. No, Moxie's makes it back to the wall, but still a scary situation. Gets the touch, weapon throw back. D-Light barely doesn't connect. And now, Hipka so hurt. D-Light, but the Sarah drops. That could have been it for Moxie's. And Hipka whiffs on a D-Light as well. Both players, I mean, spaghetti everywhere. It's such a tough situation to be in. It's scary. The recovery is going to do it. Hipka so close in that 1v1, but able to clutch it out in 2-0 so far from the red team.
Yeah, it was really back and forth that set. Just, you know, you were on your toes just trying to figure out what was going to happen. And in the end, you know, Hipka and Regendas prevent Roscoe and Moxie's from putting themselves on the board. But as we go into game number 3, we are seeing the switch from Roscoe. It is that Sidra. He's getting rid of the gauntlets and he's moving on to just the Sidra, which it's the pirate combo. So the pirate tech So I'll be interested to see if the Sidra will have anything to say about this game as we go into game number 3. If anything, really, if blue team can really try and hold on to their stocks, then they'll be able to potentially push their advantage even further. Try and take credit for what's due, and really it might end up giving them a game or two, maybe 3 if they can really reel everything back in.
Yeah, I mean, tough position to be in, down 2-0, and a really tough position to be in, getting neutral signatured. But Roscoe, I mean, the wake up cannon recovery, such a terrifying move to put out, because you could just be gone just like that, but able to make it back. But still, a fairly even game. Moxie's done, lost his recovery at the very start, and now Roscoe in the 2v1 situation just for a couple seconds, but the platform dash around will find a Sair. Red team, both players fairly hurt, so they might be able to take an advantage on blue team if Roscoe and Moxie's can find these stocks. Dealer Sair is going to do it. Regendas couldn't interrupt it. Now the dealer recovery on sword isn't going to do it. Close on that one. Hipka able to get in to stop, but now Hipka's going to be the one to take damage in a 2v1 situation. As Regendas tries to make it back, no connections on Hipka, but still a fairly even game. If you look at the stocks and the percents, could all turn on a moment's notice. Regendas trying to make it back, and blue team wants to put on a lot of damage onto Hipka at the moment. They've got them jammed in between the two of them. Roscoe should be able to make it back off this, but another ground pound. Roscoe loses the stock, but the Sair is going to clean it up, and Hipka is the most damaged one so far. The neutral signature is not going to do it. A scary position, but Regendas gets in the middle, and man, this offstage gameplay from both teams is pretty interesting. I think the switch to Sidra is going to be the difference maker, maybe in the offstage, particularly the down signature on sword. Might be the answer to the spear neutral signature that Hipka's been getting away with all set.
Yeah, really, they both of these members have not really been holding back off stage. They're really just trying to go for it, as the downlight say is actually going to be enough to get the KO onto Hipka. The dominating comes out from Moxie's, and now Roscoe is really going to try his best to hold on to this stock as well as Moxie's. Both of these players are into the deep red. Regendas not enough, doesn't actually manage to get that punish, but it's been really interesting that this throwing away the gauntlets for the sword seems to have been working for Roscoe, but he's been put onto his last stock, so he's gonna have to try and survive himself out here, especially now that he has to 1v2 for a little bit until his teammate gets back. Moxie's finally does get back in the end, but really, it's a really tricky situation to be in, especially considering that Regendas is still on, well, Caster's Curse, I was going to say, he's still on his second stock. Hipka actually doesn't touch with that GC Ensig, and now there's a team combo opportunity. Roscoe just doesn't get the spacing for that Ensig right, and now it's a 1v2 opportunity, which is the first time they've had the opportunity against Hipka and Regendas in this set. So, if they can bring this back, they put themselves on the scoreboard, which will be huge.
And Moxie's baited Hipka into that neutral signature so well, right into the position where it would have just gotten a complete reversal, but got out of the way at a moment's notice, and now, I mean, it's such a great position for blue team. It looks like Regendas, it's going to be so much trouble. Getting in against this team comp in particular seems like such a menace from the wall. It's probably a lot of trouble, and Regendas one hit is going to do it. Particularly with Spear, these 2v1s are really difficult because all of your moves, these sidelights and downlights, you have to just be fishing for nairs and Sairs. Otherwise, you're going to get punished and KO'd because any hit will do it. That stray recovery, just like jumping into it, is going to do it. So blue team, they'll take a game. They're on the board. Down 1-2 still, but maybe some life for Moxie's and Roscoe.
Yeah, and sometimes a little bit of hope and a little bit of life is all you need to be able to turn the set back around in your favor. We've seen it multiple times in Brawlhalla, but it'll just be the question of if Moxie's and Roscoe can do it from here. Try and get themselves that top 3 position. Try and earn some dollary dues as we go into game number 4 here on Demon Island. No changes whatsoever from game number 3, and I'll be interested to see if Roscoe and Moxie's maybe something that they could probably consider doing is to just try and herd around this red team. Just try and basically turn them into little sheep. Try and be the shepherd. Try and control where they can go and where they can't go. A lot of that stage control is going to be very important, and if you can manage to maintain it and take control of it, then you're going to go a long way, as Roscoe's already been put into the orange by Hipka's spear, which is cool, which really in this set has been a big problem for this blue team, just trying to solve the answer to this spear of Hipka and even Ragundaz's.
Oh, wow. Barely a neutral signature connection from Ragundaz, and now Roscoe has to try and make it back, although might have been able to find the reversal off the wall there, but doesn't opt for it. Wants to get back to stage instead. He knows he could get edge guarded just the same by the other members standing up there on the platform, but now Ragundaz, that's a big deal. If they could find the stock of Moxie's, it would just basically be the game, but no. They are able to put a ton of damage and find the stock of Roscoe. Still a great position for Red Team, but if they had found the stock of Moxie's, it would have been so much sweeter. Now Ragundaz trying to make it back. No, it's just done. And Light, this should be the stock. Just a haymaker from Roscoe is going to do it. And now a pretty even game. Moxie's has to play from behind, definitely, especially after that. Now into the red. And on this thatch, such a big deal. Any hit will pretty much put you into KO percent at this point. Finally, the recovery is going to do it. Now Moxie's just one Sair, one recovery. Has to play so careful. The big deal, actually. The platform moves away from where he is, so not going to have a lot of room to play around, and now the ground pound is going to do it. Roscoe has to try and make it back. The down signature connects and a ground pound afterwards, but goes for another follow-up, and that will be the end. The friendly fire from the cannonball. Moxie's takes out his teammate, and now just 2 full stocks down, although able to find the stock of Ragundaz, so maybe, or of Hipka, maybe a breath of life, but still Ragundaz on the second stock is just going to tank it forever. This is a tough position to be in if you're Moxie's and Roscoe.
Yeah, it's really tough, but if they can try and, you know, get this stock off of Ragundaz as quickly as possible, then they have an even game on our hands, but at the moment, Ragundaz is just doing really well, just avoiding a lot that this blue team has to offer against them, and right now, it's, you know, tournament stock here for Roscoe and Moxie's respectively, and they're now starting to, you know, put themselves into the orange. Finally, they get that Ragundaz stock, but Hipka's really avoiding that 1v2 situation, and he's done it well for Ragundaz to come back. If... excuse me, what the fuck's going on with my yawning? Pardon my French. But yeah, at the moment, this, blue team, it's not looking good. The side air sends Moxie's all the way out to the side, and now there's a chance on to Roscoe, but Ragundaz misses that. Oh no, the side sig ends up connecting on the spear, and now Moxie's has to keep this, he has to keep the team alive in it. He is in burgundy sauce at the moment, and that side air not enough to get the KO. Moxie's trying to make his way back. Ragundaz is the one with the edge guard. He's the healthier of the two. Gee, that's going to get the KO, and Moxie's and Roscoe, they are out at 4th, and it looks like Ragundaz and Hipka are going to put themselves into losers final.
Awaiting them, Chair and Asmodee. A menace to fight, I think. You said it. Second in Springs only, what, a week, 2 weeks ago, right? That's, man. Scary team to fight, but Hipka and Ragundaz, no strangers to it. Definitely played them in the past, and no character switches from anybody here. Just going to see the Vector and the Lucian and the Hattori and the Orion. I'm interested to see how the two playstyles clash, because definitely Asmodee and Chair are going to be looking to separate them into separate 1v1s and find who is kind of the weaker in that 1v1 situation, and then pounce and take their stocks and hunt them down, whereas Ragundaz and Hipka are going to be looking to try to squeeze Asmodee and Chair together into these 2v1 combos that they have with the double spear, with spear sword, even Lance, a pretty underrated twos combo weapon, very strong, particularly the Orion. So it will be very interesting to see how the playstyles clash, as Asmodee is the only one who hasn't found a weapon yet, but in twos it spawns every however long pretty quickly, so pretty tough to weapon starve. A pretty tough situation right now off stage on the left side. Ragundaz just goes off with the down signature, and Chair could have punished Optional 2, wants to get back to stage. And again, find this 1v1 against Hipka. Try to keep Asmodee on Ragundaz.
Yeah, the nice recovery there by Chair, though, in the end, as it looks like these blue team members, they are really just trying to drag this back. That NSIG, not enough to get the KO just yet, but they are getting ever so close to trying to find these KOs. If Hipka and Ragundaz can really try and hold onto their stocks here, maybe try and get rid of Chair immediately, as that down air The ground pound, hang on, Hipka. He's taken out Cher. Now as Modi has to try and 1v2 for a little bit. She keeps herself away from everything as of now, but the breakdance actually ends up hitting Ragunda's the weapon throw. Ragunda's doesn't even have enough speed. The 8-speed Hattori isn't enough to actually make sure that Ragunda's can make it back, and now Hipka has to try and, solve all the problems as of right now. There is a lot of blood being belted onto Hipka and onto Asmodi, but Hipka finally goes to that bow neutral arrow of Asmodi, and now if Asmodi can try and keep a hold on of this stock as well as Chair, make sure that you don't really get drawn into a damage deficit. Make sure that you don't put Asmodi into a future event of the 1v2, then you'll be looking brilliant. But it's just a matter of time before Asmodi ends up getting disconnected of the stock. But look at that, there's a lot of damage actually onto Ragundas right now, and if they can try and get these stocks quickly, then oh my goodness, the double side as Modi actually ends up DIing, and finally as Modi goes, they have the chance against Chair right now, but he's avoiding everything nicely. So it looks like at the moment this blue team have been in control here for game number 1.
Modi held on to the stock for a century and a half. That was the craziest way to not lose it. She stalked me so effectively, I swear. As Ragundas will go down onto the final stock. And notably, Chair is quite hurt. So if red team finds a way back to this, it'll be finding that stock of Chair as fast as possible. They're able to do it with the down signature of Orion's Spear, and now the 2v1 situation onto Asmodi. Not able to find a lot of hits, but really what they're looking for is the damage onto Chair. They want Chair to respawn, so they're able to find this damage. Recovery, I mean, you can tell they're both just running at Chair. Asmodi has to chase the 2 red team members as they go after Chair. Chair with the Sayer, though, will put a lot of damage onto Hipka. Notably, this game is very even. One of the most dangerous Ragundas on this final stock, but still, it looks pretty even between Chair and Ragundas. And now Asmodi with the falling Sayer, it's really important who loses their next stock, and it will be Asmodi. She goes down. They're not able to find the one of Hipka. Ragundas trying to find this double spear combo as Hipka just wants to find the weapon to try to get back into this game. Chair has taken a ton of damage onto this. Blue team can get back into it if they're able to find the stock of Ragundas. Nope, Chair will get the one of Hipka. And now Ragundas just trying to move around, slip around a little bit. Take that much damage, although quite a commitment off stage, and now no options. Chair side late, but no, Hipka got the touch. Man, that was a scary situation. That could have been it. Losing a stock in basically white, it would have been so bad for the red team, but there goes Ragundas, and now Chair in a tough situation. Hipka in this 1v2, just gotta hunt Chair. Asmodi wants to get in front, Chair wants to be behind, but Hipka, it's really tough as Spear to get through the first player. Although the ground pound, I don't know, this looks pretty doable, Jerry.
Yeah, it's looking actually really doable, but that's Hipka actually does take the stock of Chair. Now Asmodi has to try and get this 1v1 again. She failed against Vay. Can she succeed against Hipka? We're going to have to find out. Oh, that downlight just missing Asmodi with a nice dodge, as now Hipka is really trying to survive. Oh no, 3-piece coming out onto the bow. Asmodi swapping over to the lance. Hipka getting a couple unarmed recoveries. Asmodi gets one of her own after the weapon throw, and now Hipka does narrowly avoid that down sig. That downlight recovery is not enough to get the KO just yet. Hipka trying to avoid anything that would potentially get him in KO range. Downlight recovery, not enough to do it just yet. Hipka making his way around. He does make his way back. Downlight Nair. That is actually going to be enough to get the KO, and as Modi and Chair, they put themselves 1 up here in the losers final. Although, it was a scary situation. 700 damage from his Modi.
I was going to say that. Wow. 700 damage, just Modi putting on a clinic in that game. And, I mean, looking back, maybe I would have bet my house on Asmodi winning that. Putting on 700 damage and not finding the game would have been very unlucky for Asmodi. So she's able to find it, clean it out, and bring us back 1-1. Still tough position. Man, what a game that was, actually. That was so close. Blue team barely able to squeak out with it, but now we're back onto Apocalypse. We're back on both lances immediately, finding the weapon. Ragunda's already taking a lot of damage. Dared into his side late Sayer. That's a big deal. That's a lot of damage. And now they're going to put the 2v1 onto him. and all the way at the top of the screen, Hipka has to find a way back in, but no, a commitment off stage, a pretty tough situation because now they're going to put the squeeze on the Rigondas again onto the left side, and Acer is going to do it as Modi finds the stock so quickly, and now Hipka in trouble in this 2v1. Although, no, the wake up, ground pound might find it, but man, everyone on this lane is just waking up out of everything. Very impressive, the awareness to know when they can do that and not get punished. So pretty impressive stuff so far, but still right now it's the red team that's in the worst possible situation. If they can find the stock of Asmodi, that would be really good. The recovery the wrong way, not going to help her, but able to make it back still. And now Chair, funny enough, has taken the least amount of damage in this game. Not what we're used to seeing, and now Asmodi is the one on the back foot of the two, but still both players on the front foot because, man, another stock Hipka is gone, and now 2v1 situation on the Rigondas.
Look, back foot or front foot, make up your mind, but this game is definitely a bit of a tango as Asmodi and Chair actually both get hit by that spear ground pound. Asmodi tries to make her way back, gets hit by a second ground pound, and that's actually going to force the stock of the hand. Oh no, the web throw actually ends up hitting Chair. Rigondas trying to keep it a weapon away from Asmodi. Now Chair really is surviving really well on this stock, but a second ground pound hits him. He tries to make his way over again. Rigondas hits the sidelight, and then the recovery just forcing Chair to panic, make a mistake. Asmodi it just does a ground pound from all the way out there. Now this red team, they are gonna have to try and get the stock onto Asmodi as soon as possible without losing any of their own, as that inline recovery almost gets Rigondas. One of those surely will do it soon, but there is a lot that they're gonna have to try and get through. Sidelight to side air from Asmodi is gonna get the stock, and a second one onto Rigondas, and now this blue team, they really do have a strong lead.
Yeah, and looking much more dominant in the second game as opposed to the first one. Already up 1-0. This would be such a great position if they were able to find it and put red team completely in just a terrible situation. Already in the second game, they're in a terrible situation. Down 2 whole stocks, able to find one of Asmodi. And again, Chair is the one who is in the Asmodi position for most of the time that we've seen him, where Chair is the one playing from behind, and Asmodi, she's the one playing in front, but now it's the opposite. Maybe that might be enough to kind of take blue team out of their comfort zone. Sometimes switching up who you hunt down and go on is a pretty effective tool. The taunt signature from Vector is not going to connect. It's always funny when that move comes out. I think it's come out twice now in this set. Asmodi just lets him rip. Side signature going to knock Asmodi out of her own side light, and a lot of damage on this red team. Hipka's taken so much. Rigondas, man, such a tough position to be in. You really have to find some kind of combo onto Asmodi and then put the squeeze on Chair afterwards. Able to take a stock of Chair. This 2v1 is exactly where they need to be, but nope. Asmodi with the Sair is going to do it, and now Hipka gets Saired too. Blue team goes up 2-0.
Just Sair after Sair after Sair after Sair on this land. 660 damage coming out from Asmodi, and now Rigondas and Hipka, they're on the back foot. It's 2-0 to the count of Asmodi and Chair here in losers final, and they're just running rampage right now here. Hipka, you know, maybe considering who he's going to play, probably unsure, but it's been a dominant performance right now by Asmodi and Chair as of current, but it'll only be a matter of time before, you know, Hipka and Rigondas, they try and, you know, adapt. And it's going to be the Barbara from Hipka, which mimics the abilities of Bryn, which is interesting. I think this is like the first time that we're seeing an axe today, and it's on swap in top 3, which is a bit crazy to think about.
Yup, the Bryn used to be the pretty much the dominant 2's character, right? Back when only a couple months ago, when Axe was just everywhere, and Bryn was the 2's character. Pretty interesting to say that this is the first Axe we've seen all tournament, I believe, or at least in quite a while. Times have definitely changed in the 2's meta, so pretty interesting to see it come out, and the adjustment that comes out from the red team, because it's looking pretty dire for them so far. No dodge onto Chair, they're able to get the 3-piece onto Spear for Hipka. That's a nice start so far. Haven't taken any hits onto the red team pretty much at all. So far, blue team struggling to find a weapon, to find combos. Man, Asmodi already in red and on the... Wow, able to dodge the ground so smooth, so close. But still, Asmodee, she's in such a rough position. Already taken a ton of damage so far. If Hipka with this axe, we know, able to find these early stocks with Sair, but then, oh man, that dare, that's a big deal. Regandas has nothing left. Doesn't make it back. And now the game is completely flipped on its head. A down signature from Asmodee. Way overcommits to the side, but the Sair from the Katars will cover it. Oh, Hipka able to make it back. A Sair from the wall might be able to salvage the start of this game for the red team. Neutral signature is going to do it, but Asmodee's put a lot of damage onto Reganda's second stock ground pound. Asmodee's still here, but the weapon throw, yeah. Edge guarding Lance in that situation is pretty easy. Just a quick weapon throw will do it. Now red team, they started out amazing, and then it got scary, but now they're in the lead.
Yeah, they're in the lead for now, but if this red team can, try and get the KO into Hipka as soon as possible, then they have a 1v2 opportunity against Ragundas. And considering how damaged he is, there it is. Now they have the opportunity here, if they can try and take out Ragundas, then it'll be working a wall of wonders. But a lot of damage is onto Asmodee, and she's going to have to play very carefully here. If she can manage to... Oh, no, Ragundas is just juggling both Asmodee and Chair. The spear recoveries are coming out left, right, and center. As his Chair trying to get this edge guard, but, makes his way back. Actually ends up taking out Hipka's recovery, but that ground pound actually ends up sending downwards because of the wall. And now Chair is the one in their last stock. Asmodee is bleeding out in this burgundy sauce. That's going to actually get the KO, and now... This blue team... Oh no, Ragundas is actually going to fall from the weapon throw of Hipka. And
just a mind gimp. Just loses all of his options. Gone off the bottom. That's funny. Man, red team, they're looking really good so far. This Bryn swap might just be it. Although Hipka losing the stock would be pretty bad. Able to make it back somehow. I can't believe this money did not get that edge guard. Usually she's so clean on that, but nice reaction to the spot dodge from Chair. Wow. Out of the end light, able to find the recovery. And now Asmodee hunting Regandas off the left side. Regandas just wants to take some time, has taken a lot of damage. This is basically blue team's way of winning this game. If they can find Regandas now, it will be pretty much the game because Hipka has already taken a decent amount of damage. Blue team, just started running away with this game somewhere on that second stock. Regandas will go down.
Yeah, they're actually... Yeah, that down sig on the bow is actually going to get the stock. Chair's Katars have been really running riot right now in this game, and that's going to do it. And Asmodee and Chair, they put themselves into grand final.
Wow, man, some of those games were remarkably close, but there is definitely a difference in the ability to close out games between these two teams because when Asmodee and Chair had a lead, they took it all the way. When Hipka and Regandas had a lead, Asmodee and Chair were still able to find a way back in. They weren't able to close out game 1 or 3 where they had a nice lead. Asmodee and Chair, it may be a testament to the mental game that they have to be able to come back in those games. And so this 3-0 that, might not tell the whole story of what a close set this really was. But really, I'm not sure it matters because Asmodee and Chair move on to grand finals on the elimination side. They're going to go up again in the rematch from winners finals against Doggo and Vey.
Yeah, Doggo and Vey, they took them out in the game 5 in a winners final. But Asmodee and Chair, they have the ability to try and, claw their way back into this. But if Asmodee and Chair, they win this next set, then they'll get the bracket reset, which will definitely be deserved. But it'll be interesting to see if Asmodee and Chair can actually win it from here. Doggo and Vey, an incredibly strong team by the looks of things. Both players have won multiple 2v2 titles before in Australia, but it'll be close. It'll be very, very interesting. It looks like both the players are starting to come into the lobby now, but Asmodee and Chair, they're gonna have to try and work their way around. Vey's Kaya in that game 4 and game 5 did so much damage, and it worked wonders for them. And they didn't really have an answer for it. I'll be interested to see if Vey swaps onto that, onto that Kaya. I don't really expect much change from anyone else. It definitely seems like the Lucian and the Vector was working for Asmodee and Chair. but it's grand finals, and this can be a lot to work with if you manage to if your mental falters in grand finals, it is all over. You have to manage to keep yourself intact and just hope that you can pull through. It looks like Vey is locking in that Kaya, and we're seeing the Sidra from Doggo still. And we're going to be getting underway in this grand final very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen. As we are going to get into it, we have the map bans coming up, and it'll be interesting to see if Asmodean Chair, if they can actually manage to adapt in this last game. If they can manage to adapt from their winners final, try and recollect their thoughts on what they did wrong, and then they would hopefully for their sake put themselves into a winning position. But we are going to be underway here, game 1 here in grand finals. Let's get underway, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm excited for this. That was such a good set in winners finals. I think it's going to be really good too. I know this Vey Kaya is going to just come out swinging immediately from what we saw in that game 5 and the game 4 after the swap. It was such a big deal. Already the juggles, but didn't have enough options to go for the recovery, looking for it, but then realized once the sweat beads came out. So not able to find the juggles onto Chair, although still finding the damage. They're executing the game plan again. Just find Chair's stock already. That Sarah's going to do it. And now, I mean, Asmodee in a tough position as well. These Pogos, although Doggo might have sacrificed a bit much to go down there, nope, able to make it back. The recovery from Asmodee honestly helped a little bit there. And now Chair on the back foot once again as Doggo tries to hunt Asmodee. Vey tries to put on more damage onto Chair to put Chair into KO percent again. Asmodee is gone. Red team is doing so good right now. They've already found a lot of damage onto Chair. Once more, the exhausted recovery from Cannon. Wow, dude, Red team has come out swinging. Finally, they're going to find the stock of Doggo, a ground pound. If you take one of us, it must be us taking the stock, as Vey will clean up the stock of both Doggo and Chair. Chair on the last stock. They're going to find another neutral signature. Dude, Red team is amazing right now. They're playing
What is going on? Red team was just like, okay, we were warming up against you in winners final. Let's just, crack the knuckles, and they've just been wild here in game number 1 in the grand finals. And at the moment, blue team, they don't have an answer for it. They've just been run down, bulldozed even. At the moment, they're trying to build that damage onto Doggo. Vey is actually going to fall really early on that stock. If blue team can actually manage to win from here, I'm going to be very, very surprised. And now it'll be interesting if they can manage to pull it off. Chair getting sent up to the skies, on that orange. And at the moment, it's really, really not looking good for Asmodee and Chair. Doggo and Vey have just been so dominant here in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone could pull this comeback off, it would be Asmodee and Chair. They did so good in that last set to do it. And honestly, some of the games in winners finals that looked pretty tough for them, they were able to clean it out. But this advantage might be too much. Chair is gone. Asmodee has to 2v1. The down signature will help. And now in a 1v1, if able to put up enough damage to put Vey into a percent where Vey has to play scared in this 2v1, that would be really good for Asmodee. But on the Lance, it could be really tough. Doggo just standing still, opting, you know what, here, 1v1 my partner. I want to see if you have the skill. And man, Asmodee, she absolutely does. Side signature. Vey is in trouble. Doggo is not helping. A pretty tough situation, but I guess Doggo believes we'll be able to find in the 1v1. Asmodee's quite hurt. I don't know. That might come back to bite Doggo, messing around a little bit too much, and now the 1v1 comes out. Asmodee, maybe the best women's player in Australia right now, at least based on the last couple events. So, not sure that's what you want to do for yourself. Doggo with the sword into bow. Definitely a very interesting matchup. Pretty even between both weapons. Right now, you can see that, I mean, although Asmodee's playing from behind, it's kind of playing with house money at this point, right? Because Asmodee they were so far down. Asmodee and Chair were, and now if she's able to clutch this 1v1, that would be so good. Recovery is not going to do it. This is such a high ceiling on this map, man. But the Sarah, no options. Yup, that'll do it. Doggo finally cleans it up, but blue team made it pretty interesting there, to be honest.
Yeah, they brought it back a little bit towards the later end, but Doggo and Vey, after going 1-0 up here after game number 1, there was a lot that Asmodee and Chair just got hit by. They're just a bunch of team combos left, right, and center. A lot of them even look improvised, and they just absolutely ran wild against Asmodee and Chair. They're going to have to try and recoup, try and sort themselves out. And if Doggo and Vey can keep pushing on from here, then we might be looking at a 3-0 sweep potentially in grand finals of all things.
They both Vey and Doggo were playing phenomenally. Honestly, earlier in that winners final set, it was mostly just the Vey show, putting on 700 damage in games 4 and 5. But now, I mean, Doggo has shown up. And, I mean, it's not like Vey ever left, already putting nice damage onto Chair. Chair feels like has been playing on the back foot for both of these sets so much in these games. Just playing from behind, taking so much damage already in the KO percent. So is Doggo, but, I mean, right now, it's Chair that's in the tough situation offstage against the Spear. These ground pounds are really oppressive. Making it back in against Spear ground pound can be so difficult sometimes, especially if you want to dodge. But Asmodee the Sayer will do it, and now blue team in a much better position. Asmodee unnoticeably has taken almost no damage. Finally, a little bit of a combo will do it, but Asmodee's been playing so well on this first stock, and if she's able to put up more damage before she loses this, it would be so good for Chair, because Chair has to play on the back foot again in this situation, and Asmodee might just have to carry Chair through the second game.
Yeah, it's not really looking the greatest at the moment, but these players, they're rumbling, they're coming wild. Oh, Vey gets red with that lance, puts him on his second stock, and at the moment, this blue team does have the lead. There is a lot of damage put onto Doggo, and you can't imagine it would take too long before Doggo's stock will be on his last, but Chair and Asmodee, Chair has actually done really well holding on to this second stock of his as he gets the side sig onto Doggo, which is going to get the stock. Vey has done really well actually holding onto this stock for now, but there is a huge damage deficit, and Doggo is actually going to get saved. What saving by Doggo and Vey. You know, Doggo keeps himself alive in it, and game 1 seems to be the complete opposite and reversal of, well, game 2 seems to be the opposite and the reversal of game 1 right now, as that down sig is going to put Vey on his last stock. That down sig, Doggo trying to find his way around that GC. Asmodee trying to finish off Doggo's stock in cheeky style, but the cannon side air just came in clutch.
Man, this is looking like a done and dusted game. Doggo is already in KO percent. Asmodee still has not lost her first stock. She's just standing still and end-lating on Lance. She does not care. Will get side signature. Probably didn't even notice. It does not matter. What a down signature from Vey, actually. Wow, but still, I mean, it's not that big of a deal for blue team right now. Chair onto the final stock is the way back into the game for red team, but the way out of the game is if you lose Vey stock like that. Now, yup, style points from Asmodee. D-like ground pound will do it, and a strong rebuttal from blue team puts us into a 1-1.
Yeah, what was interesting in that game is Doggo didn't actually take a single stock at all. All of the stocks were from Vey, and Doggo might have to try and wake up a little bit, get himself out of that sleepy little dream that he's in, because this is grand finals against a very strong opponent. He can't afford to really just sit back and relax. He's got to try and, you know, push himself through, try and take out stocks, try and build up team damage, and make sure that you don't really fall into anything arbitrary.
Yeah, that very interesting game. But I like the first, I don't know, Asmodee just does so much in these games. The just random signatures that are just able to do it. And a little unsung hero, the Chair guitars have actually been very impressive so far, particularly off stage. I mean, both times that we've seen it with these down airs that almost got like a double gimp, they ended up getting saved. But Chair puts a lot of damage with these guitars out and puts the other team into these really scary offstage situations where they have to basically get a double save, but it's still a ton of damage that they're putting onto each other, which is pretty valuable if you're the other team, to be honest. So even if you don't get the stocks, it's still a lot of damage put on. So already Chair just taking the momentum right back. These guitars actually playing the best so far in this game, putting up a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Asmodee has been kind of getting beaten up so far. So a complete reversal of what we're used to seeing. So Chair has to play from the front foot right now. Meanwhile, Vey wants to stand in between a down signature, and Doggo is done. Vey, if they can find, wow, what a stage spike. That Sarah's going to do it. Down signature does not connect. That could have been it. and red team would have been a complete advantage. But right now, they just have to play this, try to find either the stock of Bay or the stock of Chair for both teams. That is how the advantage comes out. It's the most important part of the game right now, honestly. If they're able to find the stock of Bay or the stock of Chair faster and then stock tank on their own guy, it's a really big deal. So far, doing a really great job. Not a lot of hits connecting, and meanwhile, a lot of damage being put onto Asmodee. So far, getting recovered by her own teammate. Side late Sarah is not going to connect, and the end late is going to do it. Vey finds the stock, and now Asmodee, tough situation, this 2v1 against bow and sword. A nice combo of weapons to squeeze you in. Side late connects, but Doggo was preoccupied with the down signature. Chair finds the stock of Vey, but red team did their job right now. They have a nice advantage.
It's a really good advantage here for Doggo and Vey. Asmodee, there's a lot of damage built onto her, and she isn't able to really try and fight back right now. She is doing the best that she can, but Doggo and Vey at the moment, they're just too strong. That down sig on Chair, not enough to connect, and the recovery of Vey's spear is going to put Asmodee on her last stock. And look, Asmodee does make her way back for now, but if this blue team need to try and find these KOs onto Doggo and Vey as quickly as possible, I'm eyeing Doggo's health, and it won't take much. In fact, it'll take a D-sig on the Katars of Chair from the middle of the stage to get the KO, and Asmodee has to really try and survive here. If she can manage to hold herself off from getting punished by any of the members, making sure, oh no, that neutral stick on the bow connects, and Asmodee is in a lot of trouble right now as Chair gets sent out to the side. She's in the center, she's caught in between Doggo and Vey, and now, oh no, oh no, that down air connecting from Vey, and now Asmodee, she's left all alone. Chair does make her way back in the end, does get the punishment onto Vey, but he is going to make his way back, but not before Asmodee has anything to say about it. Doggo with a nice punish. Asmodee trying to make her way back. She does indeedly so, but look at the damage onto Asmodee. She is in so much strife.
I feel like blue team doesn't have the answers if Asmodee is the one who takes the most damage at the start of the game so far, right? If Chair takes the most damage, they know how to deal with it. But right now, it feels like they're a bit out of sorts, where they're able to find these stocks of Asmodee so much better, because I feel like Chair is just not as used to trying to get in between two people that are hunting your teammate. So a nice adjustment from the red team, putting much more damage onto Asmodee, and it bears fruit. Again, that's what happened in the game 5. That's how they were able to win that as well. So already, I mean, Chair, this doesn't look doable. Vey, these edge guards are so clean. Down signature will be able to make it back, and there is some damage onto Doggo, right? But Vey locked down on this wall that you cannot make it back. Vey is just kicking you out of the club, and Doggo will send you up in the skies with that recovery, with a sword recovery, and a 2-1 lead from winner's side. So on their final game, potentially, is Asmodee and Chair.
Yeah, they have to work their way back from here, and it's not really a pretty scenario. Asmodee and Chair, they have to win the next 2 games in a row, and Doggo and Vey, they only have to win 1 to be the champions of the Bearded Brawls 2v2. So it's a really interesting situation. There's no swaps from anyone. I'm surprised that Asmodee hasn't even locked in like a Zariel, and Chair hasn't even locked in a Barraza. They reckon that this Vector and Lucian is going to carry them all the way through, as we're going to go to Small Fortress of Lions again, which this is only the second time that we've seen this stage today. The first time was in the game just before this. And now Asmodee and Chair, they're going to have to work their way back, try and piece together the puzzle and solve the mystery of how on earth do they beat Doggo and Vey right now.
Yeah, it's, man, if they put a lot of damage onto the Chair right now, which is not great for them, but at the very least, it's not Asmodee who has taken the most damage so far. So they are a little bit more comfortable, although Doggo, I mean, Doggo has done so well in these 1v1s against Asmodee. I've noticed, put up much more damage. Down signature's not going to connect on a Chair from Vey. That was close. That could have been the stock, or at least close to it. And now Chair on the back foot. Doggo just slides a neutral signature. That's really bad, actually. Put Vey in a 2v1 situation, but so far, I mean, it's so nervous right now that neutral signature is not going to connect. And Asmodee dashing off, pivoting a dare. Doggo able to make it back anyways, and the down signature not going to connect from Chair, but what is going on right now? Doggo somehow, I guess off the recovery, was able to get options back, and Vey's going to lose the stock first. Very interesting. Asmodee, oh man, what a target swap from Doggo, able to take both stocks, a dare into a nair, and a weapon throw down. on Asmodee, who he had just dared. Really impressive. And if Dog was able to stock tank, this could be a nice advantage for Red Team.
Yeah, there isn't much that he'll be able to stock tank as he gets hit by that down air, which is going to close the stock. So game 4 is definitely a lot closer than what we've seen in the previous games. So there is a bit of a chance right now for blue team as they have the edge guard. Doggo does avoid that GC side sig as he makes his way back up the stage, but there is a little bit of a damage deficit here between the red and the blue. So a lot of the edge guarding that this blue team had done within like the last 10-20 seconds or so has bared them fruit, but can it bring out the stocks? Nice follow-up there by Asmodee, but not enough to get the KOs. Vey makes his way back to stage, and now it won't take long before anything manages to get the KOs. As Vey picks up a spear now, side air is going to get the KO of Vey, but recovery as Asmodee gets a double KO. And now this blue team, they do have a chance here in game number 4.
Yeah, and so it looks like they want to take this to a game 5 for sure, because they've been playing pretty good so far. And honestly, surprisingly, the damage fairly even for both blue team members, although Chair in a bit of trouble. Down signature isn't going to do it. But in the meantime, Asmodee has been putting a lot of damage onto Vey, although getting edge guarded. Another dare is going to do it, but no. Another pivot there, man. Vey has one option in mind right now off stage and isn't able to find it. Now Asmodee with a breath of life. Should have lost the stock earlier and now putting up a lot of damage. Doggo able to find the stock of Chair, but Asmodee's still around. Daylight Sarah is not going to connect, and the wake up dare beats out the side signature, and Asmodee has to stock tank here because red team is quite behind. But the window back into this game is if they are able to put damage onto Chair by taking Asmodee out and then putting the 2v1 onto Chair. But Asmodee just refuses to go down. Nothing has been able to find this KO onto her. And still, see, standing right in the middle, and Chair just jumping in the corner. Does not want to play aggressively right now. Wants Asmodee to take all the damage as possible because Asmodee's on that second stock. And now, red team, they're taking so much damage, it doesn't really matter if they're able to find a stock of Asmodee because they're both in KO %, basically. Chair will be able to find either stock with a recovery. Finally, Asmodee will go down, but Chair in this 2v1, it's really not that scary for him. Although, off stage, that's really... Oh, man. Guitar recovery gets beaten out. That could have just been it for Chair. And Asmodee would have been in the 1v2. Still would have been doable, but right now, blue team just looks completely on top of it. It looks really hard for red team.
Yeah, but, you know, don't say anything too soon. There's definitely an amount of damage being built onto Chair. This red team, they've been able to stock tank quite nicely, actually, on this final stock. If Vey can try and close out Chair, but Asmodee comes into the way. Vey trying to squeeze himself around, actually does get the exhausted recovery, which does hit Chair. Now Chair's lost without a weapon. Down light from Asmodee, trying to keep the edge guard onto Doggo. Vey actually gets the KO from that side air. And now Asmodee has the 1v2 to keep this team alive in it. It gets the side air. Asmodee being edge guarded right now. The weapon throw after that end light, not enough. Both players without a weapon. Doggo picks up one. Oh, just misses that cannon Nair. Asmodee trying to squeeze away around that bow, and Nair is not enough to get the KO. She's trying to squeeze away around, does get the down sig, which hits Doggo, and now Vey has the 1v1 against Asmodee to get the win for Doggo, and Vey swaps over to the spear. And now Asmodee gets the punish, but it can't find the dodge from it. Downlight, Nair misses!
What is happening?
Everything's missing!
Dude, what is happening?
Misses! That's gonna be a game 5! What was those last couple seconds? What did I witness?
Oh my god, everybody just got so nervous. I mean, okay, it all started with Vey holding a down signature on Kaya's spear and standing right next to someone who is punishable with anything as Asmodee opts for a side light. And then from there, it was just whiffed move after whiffed move that was so scary. All these signatures coming out, and finally, it's going to be the D-Light that's going to do it for Asmodee. We go to a game 5, but man, a heart attack of a game. Jesus.
Yeah, that was a bit of a heart attack of a game, and now Asmodee and Chair with a bit of luck on their side. Can they push through with momentum? Doggo and Vey maybe just really unlucky to not close out the set and therefore the tournament from that, but they have a chance of, you know, if they can take this game here, they will be able to crown themselves the champion of this tournament of the Bearded Brawls 2v2, but they have a very, very strong opponent ahead of them. And if they lose from here, it will mean a bracket reset, which really wears out the mental. It wears out the mental of players, you know, going through a reset, and it will be extremely difficult for Doggo and Vey if they want to hold on after a reset. So for them, they have to try and close it out here and now. As we go to Apocalypse for game number 5, back to where it all started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it underway.
Yeah, and already Chair has come out swinging these Blasters combos. We have not seen a lot of Blasters play from Chair so far. Usually it's the guitars, but Chair clearly very competent on the weapon. Has put a lot of damage onto Vey already. Not enough to make it a sizable advantage, but still a pretty big deal. Doggo, wait, what? Nothing left. Doggo's just done a dare. I don't know if it was lag or what happened, but I don't know what's happening. Are we
got a little bit of a lag issue happening? Yeah, it just looks like we might have a bit of an internet issue happening at the moment. Looks like Vey's back. It looks like we're all gaming at the moment. Asmodee and Chair, they are way too comfortable in the lead for Vey and Doggo's liking. They're gonna have to try and bring it back from here, but it's 2v2s. Genuinely, anything can happen in this game mode. So Vey getting slapped around the side by that side air. He manages to actually avoid that signature of Asmodee, but oh no, that ends up connecting, and now they've got to try and push their way back from here. Doggo doesn't have enough. That side air really... Oh no, hang on, the save. Asmodee with the interrupt.
Oh no.
Oh,
what is happening?
It's still going. Ah, Chair. Oh, what is happening? What is happening? What is happening?
Dude, these nairs.
Oh,
I can't believe that.
They didn't have enough chase dodges.
Yeah, eventually you run out. I mean, I don't think that was doable from so long ago, but these end lights, yeah, they're done. They want the reset. That was
we're going into a reset. That's, oh my goodness gracious me. Yeah, Doggo ended up lagging off there, so we're gonna go into a reset. Scores are put down 0-0. Doggo and Vey don't have a second chance anymore, as this reset might prove to be a lot on their mentals. It breaks even the strongest of players a bracket reset. So your mental will really hold out here in this tournament, and we're gonna see it. Where we might see, you know, just the cracks in all 4 players here just starting to form.
Yeah, but I mean, the experience of both of these teams, although Vey and Doggo, I don't think they're with their usual partners, but still have a lot of experience in these situations. So hopefully, I feel like the mental will be able to hold up. But definitely, yeah, the strain of a long tournament run, particularly if you make a long run through the elimination bracket, it can start to wear on you through a reset. So we'll see who's able to hold up. Although I think the experience will win out for both teams here, and I think we're going to get another really great set. Hopefully no more lag off from Doggo or anyone really, but getting right back into it. Asmodee, high commitment with the bow. Definitely a way I would characterize her bow is with this high commitment. Nice combination between the blasters. Although, oh man, that could have been it, but he nared instead of end lighting. Such a close combo that could have just been complete stocks done. That's such a scary comp. Cannon and spear, very potent on finding these combos, but still, it was plenty of damage. Now blue team, both players playing from behind here, as Vey has barely been touched on this first stock, and that is a scary position to be in because Vey can go absolutely crazy if they are an advantage deal at recovery. He's going to do it off the platform. And now Chair, yeah, no, a little cheeky with the ground pound, but still not able to find it. Chair trying to make it back. No options left for pretty much anyone. A very interesting situation, but still, I mean, nobody's lost their stocks yet. And if everybody takes a breather, that's good for the red team because they are the ones who have the lead right now. And if they're able to trade these hits, they can just take their advantage and run away with it. As Asmodee on the second stock is in like complete red, already in KO %. A really rough first game of the reset for the blue team, as red team just looks dominant. Nobody's lost their stock yet, and Asmodee's about to lose her second one.
Yeah,
finally takes
there
the stock, but
yeah, there goes Doggo, but Asmodee's been put on her last stock in game 1 of the reset, and this is really just game 1 from grand finals without the reset. Just seems to be the exact carbon copy of this game. Hang on, Vey actually made it back from that breakdance, didn't hit him, And now it's really just, oh no, Chair actually ends up hitting his own teammate. And now Doggo, he's still able to keep alive here, but you know, he's probably going to have to try and stock tank just a little bit longer for his teammate. And now
Talked about it earlier, but not the situation you want.
Really a matter of time before anything happens.
Yeah, because Asmodee has taken too much damage that Chair really struggles in these situations, trying to get in the middle. Oh, the neutral signature from Asmodee. Asmodee has to put on a clinic, play phenomenally, and that overcommitment probably not going to be good. Faye off to the ground pound tries for a stage spike, not going to do it, but still such a tough position to be in if you're Asmodee. It is even stock-wise. If you squint really hard, this game is even, but if you look at the health bar, not so much, as Asmodee will go down on her final stock. And Chair, 2 stocks left, definitely the healthiest player in the game right now, but I think this 2v1 is very difficult to deal with, particularly if they're able to get this cannon spear combo in. Chair will struggle, particularly. I mean, guitars in 1v2s, I think they're one of the most underrated 1v2ing weapons. As Chair is able to find the stock of Faye. I don't know. This is a little scary for red team. Just like it's very hard to punish a lot of these stray guitar moves, particularly even if he gets a combo like side light D-light. Doggo can't really do much off of it. Interesting. D-light for Faye, but I think this is very doable for Chair.
Yeah, Chair's actually been able to deal a lot of damage on these guitars. Faye trying to get this bow working out, trying to get the stock. A down air isn't going to be enough to do it. Just avoids the bow down air. Oh, actually gets a couple unarmed down airs. That recovery is going to send him up into the skies. Now, Chair has a pair of blasters. Nice interrupt there from Faye. That down air just lasting a little bit too long, and Chair ended up getting caught. Finally gets KO'd with that side air. And now it's going to be a matter of just keeping the weapon away from Chair, making sure he doesn't pick up that pair of guitars, and just trying to sort out the 1v2 for yourself. Just clean it up. Now Chair does grab onto the guitars, but he's got Faye off stage, and he's trying to clean each other up. And it's just a matter of time before something happens here. Chair trying to go for that side light, but ends up missing it. Now Doggo actually is just bit by bit creating piece of damage by piece of damage with these guitars, and now he's actually got both of these red team members in the red here. It won't take long before a stock will fly. Oh, just can't get the follow-up properly, but he's really trying. Oh, that neutral sync is actually enough to get the KO, and now Chair can 1v2 and put themselves on the board in the reset if he can manage to take base stop here in the 1v1.
Oh man.
Now it's really, oh, nice side air. Oh, tries to go for that recovery, but it's not enough to get the KO. It's just enough to bring himself back onto the stage, though. Vey trying to keep the weapon away from Chair. Chair now having the blasters in hand. GC side sig can't get punished from it. That downlight just not actually managing to hit. And now Chair trying to get this edge guard. The recovery not going to actually manage to connect. Chair trying to work his way back. Vey hoping for a ground pound or a down air or something. The side air just bouncing him off the stage. Vey trying to go for something, and it's actually going to be game?
Oh no.
Oh, this is what I'm talking about. The mental crack. The cracks in the mental, they're starting to show. They are starting to show.
Yeah, they had, I don't know if it's going to show on replay. I'll try and see. There was an opportunity right before that where Chair had nothing left and just a dodge back to stage, and Vey dashed off looking like they were going to do a down air, like a dash off and pivot down air that kind of covers the bottom of the wall, and it would have KO'd. It would have been it. Vey absolutely had that in the bag, but just didn't pull it. And it goes back, and Vey overcommits to the side, and all of a sudden that game turns around. What a redemption from Chair after struggling a lot in these previous couple of sets. Chair just clutches it out, says, I don't even need a teammate. I could win this 2v1, no problem. So now I may have to adjust what the strategy is if I'm red team, because putting a lot of damage onto Asmodee was their strategy that was effective. But in that game, that's exactly what they did, and it didn't matter. Chair was just able to clutch it out. So maybe going to look for something different as we move into this next game onto Apocalypse. Sorry, a pretty big deal to change maps like this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see if Chair and Asmodi can really like hold out from this reset. There is a good chance that they have the mental advantage against Vey and Doggo, but they have to try and avoid trying to get a damage deficit in between them. Try and keep the stocks with each other as evenly as possible. Try and drag them out for as long as you can. And Chair and Asmodi, they might have this in the bag, but Doggo and Vey, you can't underestimate them from here. You really can't. Down like round pound, Vey ends up actually connecting Vey. No, Chair ends up connecting onto Vey, and that's going to end up leading to the stock. Chair trying to get the reads, but just not successful enough with it.
Yeah, a lot of these stocks are getting taken by this down signature of Lucian on the Katars. It's really important in these games that Chair has been able to find the efficiency of these KOs, and Vey as well has done a phenomenal job of having really good KO efficiency with these signatures on Kaya. That's a big deal. Oh man, not able to follow up. Doggo so close, and now the stage spike from Sayer. Both players will make it back, but Vey still a disadvantage. Down neutral signature not going to connect, but Asmodi in the meantime is able to find Doggo. And Vey has taken a lot of damage, but Doggo hasn't taken any on the second stock. So the strategy right now for blue team is to hunt down Vey, put more damage, get Vey into the KO %, and try to ignore Doggo as best as you can. Although right now, it looks like Vey's got hands that ground pound almost connected. Vey is a scary player off stage, even against Katars, which is really impressive with his bow. To be able to just put the fear in someone like that, but doing such a great job so far. Delight Sayer on the sword is going to do it. And now red team with the advantage. Naring back up, no follow from Vey, but Chair in a tough position, and Doggo still has taken almost no damage on the second stock. Wow, Darren to recovery. What a combo right there. As Vey still standing in front, even as the most damaged player. I think Vey is okay with losing the stock because it would just put them in a nice, even situation. But if they can find the stock of Chair, it would be so much sweeter.
Yeah, that side air isn't enough to do it, as it even as far away as it was as Modi. She is on that last stock. She's really got to just hold on for as long as she can. That side sig actually ends up connecting, and now team combo comes through, tries to pick up the bow with the anti, but just doesn't connect as Modi doesn't have much to make her way back. The ground pound as Modi dodges away from it, and now Chair comes in with the blasters. He's on his last stock. He's really going to have to try and hold on from here as Modi really struggling. That side end not enough to get the KO just yet, as Modi really trying to push her way through, back and forth. The side air's coming through, but that is going to get the KO, and now Chair has to 1v2 again. He can't hold on for much longer. Chair actually does manage to get the wall touch, but gets actually that neutral air as well. Oh, what a weapon throw actually from Vey to stop that side signature from getting the KO onto Doggo, and now Chair really trying to hold on here. He's in the red. Doggo is in the burgundy, but look at that. That's a nice side sig there, which it's going to buy him some time. Try and deal as much damage onto Vey as possible, but Doggo with the punishment. That's going to get the KO. Surely it will. And now it is 1-1 in this set.
Man, Chair is has stepped it up in this reset, but Asmodi seems to be a little lacking in these games. And Chair, I mean, maybe has to do more, but last game, I think it was like 600, almost 700 damage for Chair. In this game, I mean, if that's what it takes in each of these games, it's going to be really rough for Chair and Asmodi, because Doggo and Vey are relentless right now hunting these stocks of Asmodi. They sense blood in the water, and they are sharks. They go to feed right on it. They're just hunting because, I mean, that's what you do in those situations. You just put a lot of damage onto Asmodi or onto Chair, and then you take the stock as quickly as possible while trying to ignore the other player and put some damage onto him, but not focusing, and doing a great job of it so far. Especially in that game, cleaned up the 2v1, no problem, and already getting right back into it. Doggo with the sword has built up a kind of important amount of damage so far to able to get some space for Vey to get a weapon, or at the very least make it back to stage right now. Tough position to be in. Man, I swear, half of these games are spent with Chair and Vey off stage interacting with each other, getting reversals on one another, and just staying on the wall together. Although right now it's up off the top of Vey. No Nair will connect, but that would have been it for Asmodi's stock so early. Already taking a lot of damage, and again, Chair and Vey on the right side. Down signature, man, fakes out like Chair is going to target swap, goes right back to it with the down signature. Doesn't connect, but still really interesting that opts to do that. As Modi just kind of getting ping-ponged around so far, doesn't get Sair punished. That would have been the whole stock. And now a 2v1 as Chair tries to make it back. Neutral signature not going to do it as Modi finds a Sair onto Vey and a follow-up Sair. And now a nice advantage. No follow from Asmodi off that Blaster's End Light. Just messed up the movement a little bit maybe. And that could have been a stock taken. Still a good position to be in so far if they're able to find the stock of Doggo. Side signature commitment and then recovery from Vey will take out stock of Asmodi. And Chair, pretty interesting ground pound comes out and gets punished immediately, but pretty even game so far. It's pretty important to see who's able to find the stock and take the advantage in this game. Is it going to be Doggo? Is it going to be Chair that loses their stock? It's going to be Chair. And Doggo able to make it back. That's so huge because now Doggo can stock tank as much as possible.
Yeah, but it won't be long before that bow recovery comes out and he ends up getting the KO. So it is even Stevens here in game number 3, and it's really just been what's happened in these few games that we've had between Asmodi Chair and Vey Doggo. It's just, you know, back and forth, back and forth. You know, certain players will just, you know, perform really, really well in one game, and then the next they just get absolutely hammered. And it's just back and forth. This set has been. And now Asmodi trying to, you know, take Vey off stage, but everything is so even. It's so hard to call what's going to happen and how to fix up. It's really impressive here from all 4 of these players to manage to actually hold on as long as they have.
Yeah, Chair is the one that is playing the best so far in this game, has not taken that much damage. And, I mean, it's not that far from anybody else's health, but still, it's a significant amount because Doggo is going to lose his stock. And now an advantage for blue team on this 2v1 against Vey if they're able to find the stock, but the interrupt on his own teammate from the delay, not going to be able to do it. Now, Vey hunting Asmodi. Very aggressive. Both of the bow players, whenever they get one of these connections, just hunts for these Sairs, these Nairs, but the delay recovery is going to do it for Chair, and now a nice advantage for the blue team. Chair is done, so is Asmodi. The advantage just disappears. The only person who has taken damage so far is Doggo, but not that much on this final stock, and this is such an important moment because in this game, this could turn around the advantage of the set. Whoever is able to take the next stock or put a good amount of damage might just take the whole set. It's pretty important to take this game right now. Both players fairly nervous. Nobody's taking that much damage, but so far red team has a bit of a health advantage. Asmodi already in the orange now. A tough position,
no,
the down signature, that's
Chair.
a big deal. Vey will go down for the ground pound. Asmodi with a save, but now that means Asmodi is in a dangerous situation, able to make it back. So close. Man, Asmodi with his bow, just so many connections, and now the damage is being put on the red team. Still, Vey is very healthy. The neutral signature, man, Vey is just locked down in these games. A dare is going to do it, and now the edge guard, another pivot dare. Man, Vey is playing so good. Just a clinic put on in that last couple seconds as Vey cleans it up. 580 damage for Doggo, 480 for Vey as they clean up the game and take an advantage.
Yeah, now Doggo and Vey, they take the game. So they take this bracket reset, this grand final reset, 2-1 here. And it's so tough to try and figure out how Asmodi and Chair will push through, because Vey and Doggo have just been on point here in this reset. You would expect that maybe the bracket reset might harm the mentals a little bit, but they've really, really pushed through since losing that game number 1, and they are 1 game away from winning out the reset here in the Bearded Brawls 2v2.
Vey is locked down in these games. When push comes to shove, Vey is in the perfect situation, as it showed in that last game. Played so good in Winners Finals, and honestly in that first set, and man, Doggo put hurt on a chair already with this cannon. Honestly, one of the best positions to be in as cannon is if they are not touched on their stock, because it means you have such combo potential against them. It's when they're very hurt that it can be trouble to build up damage to get them in KO percent or find the KO. And that is where Chair is right now. Quite hurt on this first stock. Vey, that's a scary position for Chair, but no, Vey overcommits and has nothing left. And no save from Doggo. Man, such an unfortunate SD from Vey. Caster's Curse, I talked about how great he was playing so far in this set. A down signature from Chair. Man, all of a sudden, Chair is the one stepping it up. Probably going to hunt for another down signature. Not going to do it. Doggo was able to make it back. This could turn into an even game if Doggo could just clean up one of these stocks. It's Chair who's taken a lot of damage so far. They will be able to take him out. Now Asmodee has to survive. Moves around the spear ground pound, able to make it back and take stage control. Recovery onto Doggo, not going to do it. Now Vey off stage. Not going to find the stock. Tough position to be in for Doggo, somehow still alive. Man, Apocalypse, you just live forever on this map. So far, and now Vey has taken a lot of damage on the second stock. It's such a big deal. Blue team is in a nice position right now. Side signature is going to do it, and now blue team with the complete advantage.
Oh, that's a beautiful down air. But Doggo comes back in with a save. Vey does have enough to make his way back, which it was lucky timing that Doggo managed to spawn in time, get over as quickly as possible, and help out Vey, because that would have surely put Vey on his last stock. Oh, huge read from Asmodee with that lance. That's going to actually put Vey on his last stock here in game number 4, as huge pieces of damage are coming out from all players. Chair getting hit with that spear ground pound. Asmodee trying to come into with the save, but Chair's been put on his last stock as well, and Asmodee is so close to being on to her second. But you know, you sneeze on Asmodee and she's going to end up getting KO'd. That's not even enough of a sneeze to get the Asmodee stock. You need to wipe your nose properly, Vey. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you know what this smells like to me, Jerry? It smells like game 15, because blue team looks like they want to lock it down, take this to game 5 after game 5 after game 5. Although Doggo takes the stock of Chair, it's just done like that. And now Asmodee with the 2v1. It's what we saw in the first game, is Chair had to come back in this exact health against this exact health of the red team. So if Asmodee is able to take this out and take us to a game 15, that would be so impressive. Asmodee, clearly a very good player, definitely has the prowess to be able to do it. Not very hurt on the second stock, hunting with the lance. Vey just wants to buy a little bit of time. Vey definitely the more hurt one, although this combo, that's a big deal. Daylight Sayer, Daylight Sayer from Vey. Just a drop. Doggo was not that set up for it, but still a lot of damage. And maybe the stock, it would have been so good for the red team. Asmodee's still in a tough position. Will neutral signature back, and man, Vey just gets flip fight. It's so hard to avoid that against Vector. Daylight Nair, not going to do it. Vey with the juggles. No, just a jump in ground pound from Asmodee. What a wild option. Finds the recovery. Asmodee's playing so good. I think this is so doable right now. No Daylight recovery, but chasing after the side, like just chase dodging, hoping that Vey will give her something, but no dice so far. Asmodee wants to find either of these stocks right now. Sarah's not going to do it. Asmodee trying to sneak her way back. Barely dodges, and then the down signature. What an option pick. Barely dodges through the Nair of Cannon, and down sigs on the stage. Deal recovery, a combo that was not necessary, able to do it just from what we saw earlier. But still, I think this is a good situation for Asmodee. If you ask me, I think Asmodee can find the stock of Vey and win this 1v1 potentially.
Yeah, the only problem is, you know, you got to have good enough movement to try and avoid the team combo. That'll definitely be happening. You have to try and single out Vey, who's really just doing well to just let Doggo into the forefront. Try not to get too caught up into Asmodee. Just try and build in the chip damage and the punish damage whenever you can. Just let Asmodee just not get anywhere near you. As right now, Doggo and Vey, they're really trying that Ansig. Not enough to connect, but does get a lance side air. Tries to get the weapon throw as well, but it wasn't going to be enough. And now Asmodee has a bow of her own. Doggo trying to help out the teammate, the breakdancer. Not enough to get the KO just yet, but neither is that bow recovery. And now Asmodee trying to dance her way around everyone. That Nair's not enough to do it. They're so close to winning out this set. And Asmodee and Chair trying to squeeze their way around. A couple Nairs down like now. That's going to do it. Doggo and Vey, after 14 games against Asmodee and Chair, end up winning. And they are your bearded Brawls 2v2 champions.
Man, that was so close. Such a nice attempt from Asmodee and Chair. But Vey and Doggo lock down. 550 damage from Asmodee, 258 from Chair. A rough go of it in that final game, but I mean, what a tournament, honestly, from Vey and Doggo. Particularly, I mean, ever since the swap to Kaya in that game 4 of winners finals, didn't look back. Played dominantly on Vey, and Doggo locked down on that Sidra. Very well played from both of them. They are your winners.
Yeah, it was a very nice performance out in the end, but that is going to be it from us for this evening. It was a pleasure of a tournament to be able to cast alongside with you, A-Surge. And yeah, it's been brilliant. Do you have any final thoughts, A-Surge?
I love watching Australia. Very fun, very enjoyable. Particularly, I love watching Bay and a lot of the Bo players between Asmodee and Bay on the Kaya. And what a great tournament! That was really enjoyable to watch. So thanks for putting on a show, Australia. Very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to see you all. And if you guys haven't, for all my Australian players that are listening to me right now, sign up for BAM. It'll be brilliant. The first Australian LAN since 2019. And I will definitely be seeing all of you down there. That is it from me. And that is it for this tournament. We will see you all very soon. See yas.